It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with Not today. Helwani's ditched town. Now the inmates are running the asylum. The creatures of the control room are front and center this time around. It's the Rick and GC show. Or is it the GC and Rick show? Either way, here are your hosts, Eric Jackman and Connor Burr.
The Rick and GC show is back in your life on this beautiful Monday, August 21st, 2023, as they say. Don't adjust your dials unless you're expecting Helwani. Unless you're expecting the fighters, because that's not what you're going to get today. Today, you are going to get a little bit of me, a little bit of him. New York Rick in the building. We are going to be hosting Helwani on vacation. Rick, how we feeling, man? In the big chairs. First time ever. I mean, we look great. I have to start off before you go. We look fantastic.
You look like you belong there. I mean, I don't even think we need him back. I think we can just go from now on. You're there, I'm here, and we're ready to go.
I'm kind of thinking the same thing. We do start before we get in. Getting used to all this. We have a little ad read. This show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use code the MMA Hour for a special offer when you sign up. That's the code the MMA Hour only at DraftKings Sportsbook. There's one done.
Bro, you were supposed to read it verbatim.
Yeah, is that not what I did? Was there more
you
on
skipped
there?
a couple. Man, all right, we'll work on it.
All right.
Thanks, Frank.
We can practice. We got a couple more of those that we have to hit. UFC 292 in the books. We're obviously going to heavily recap that. We're going to have some fun. Maybe answer some of your questions. Maybe we'll head to the chat. We are men of the people, and we answer questions from the chat when we answer them. And we're going to just deep dive. I mean, unbelievable card on Saturday night. At least the main event was absolutely unbelievable. But before we get into all that, this show almost did not happen. I mean, just 24 hours ago, 36 hours ago, I was very concerned on the possibility of me and you sitting here together. I believe you have a bit of breaking news for everyone.
Do I? Okay. I'm excited to reveal that I became a father of 3 on Saturday.
What?
Yes, I did. Thank you. I mean, what a mensch. What a mensch. Yes, this almost didn't happen on Saturday at around noon Eastern. I became a father of 3. My lovely wife, Holly, delivered our baby boy, joining my 2 girls and completing our family. We're done after 3.
Look at that.
Spitting
We
it.
have a name?
Welcome to the world, Logan.
Let's go.
Welcome to the world,
Nickname
Logan.
Wolverine?
Yes.
No, but there's definitely some vibes
Logan
in there.
Paul?
Somebody suggested Paul middle name. I nixed that immediately. But Logan Jackman, welcome to the world. And yeah, I'm elated. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. The fact that this was up in the air added to the chaos. And then I'm happy to be here. My wife is at the hospital right now, uptown. And as soon as I'm done here, I'm going back to the hospital and we're getting discharged and we're taking Logan home. So
congratulations to
Thank
you.
you.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
your wife. Shout out to your wife for letting you
Soldier.
come down here. I mean, absolute soldier, an absolute mensch for letting you join the program today. I did wake up to the text. You were like, yeah, it's not looking like I'm going to be there on Monday. I was like, oh, great. And then like a few hours later, you're like, baby's here. I'm like, oh, wow, he's definitely not going to be here on Monday. But alas, we made it happen and now we're here. How we feeling, dude? I mean, we're in the big seat in the studio. I have to say, it feels like the whole day's just been a little bit more relaxed. It feels like we have a little bit more freedom that Helwani's not here. Like, it feels like we've been freed from the tyranny. Like, it feels good. I feel loose. I feel limber. It's
No
nice.
breath down the neck?
No, God, yeah. My neck finally feels free for once. No one's breathing down it, telling me to do this, telling me to do that. It's kind of feel like we can just do it without them. I mean, the response was great. I mean, I think we look good. The caricatures, I mean.
beautiful, low maintenance, easy breezy.
Easy.
I've been in that chair before. Now we're sharing, and you're in the big chair, and I think you look at home there. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to not have a one.
I have to say, this isn't that hard, dude. I mean, this is, people give him a lot of
Dare
credit.
say easy? Do you feel like...
Dare I say it's It's easy. Yeah. I mean, don't
Breaking
want to give me the
fourth
old
wall a little bit.
Don't. Yeah. Go ahead.
I already ordered the margarita machine. You know, the
Oh,
one that he was
let's
like,
go.
no, we can't do
Let's
it.
go.
It's already
Yes.
done. Yeah.
I mean, you've been pushing for that margarita machine forever. I mean,
Since 3 o'clock. Yeah.
can we all give ourselves the old Barry H, the old Barry Horowitz here? Just a nice little pat on the back. I mean,
Good job, everyone.
Frankie Happy Hour over
You
here.
backstabbing motherfuckers.
What is
you
that?
backstabbing motherfuckers.
Oh, wait, he wasn't
This
supposed
is
to be
so nice. Oh, well, would you look at this? You know, I wanted to come on here with my black pencil, by the way, to note
nice
the
pencil,
dark
dude.
day that this is. Yes, I switched it up for all of you to note that this is such a dark day, but there's so many good vibes. There's been like 4 Mensch references already on the program.
What is this? Like, how did you even get into our mainframe? How did you hack the system? What is this?
This
You
is
didn't even have any music or anything ready? Like, we were supposed to be like, well, oh, by God, that's Helwani's music. I mean,
no, we crash the party. That's what we do. That's the kind of entrance that we have. You guys look fantastic. I'm sitting here like a proud father. I didn't even want to crash the party because I was having so much fun, except for that little bit at the end there about, you know, you guys not having anyone breathing down your neck. I'm watching this like a proud father. I may never come back. I've seen some of the comments, by the way. Oh,
yeah, I think we're cool with it.
Helwani's gone. No one.
You know,
I may never come back.
I think we're cool with it, man. Enjoy it. Enjoy vacation. Enjoy the fruits of your labor.
I gotta say, it's a little different when you can just spit. You know, me and Connor sitting in the chairs and spitting. The guest booking part, that's a little bit more difficult. That maybe we're missing.
No. Listen, quite a few people were saying. Quite a few people were like, where's the lineup? Who are the guests? Well, it turns out our guest booker is also on vacation as well. Not as easy as it seems. Not quite as easy as it seems.
First of all, you guys are doing fantastic. This is one of the proudest days of my life. This is what I've always wanted for the show to kind of exist with the people who are a part of the show and me not be able to be there. So this is tremendous. It's only happened once before. And coincidentally, it was back in 2016, October 31st, 2016, when I had just welcomed my 3rd child to the world. And now here's New York Rick welcoming his 3rd child to the world, the 2nd time that he does it with GC in the chair for the first time. I mean, this is kismet, my friends. This is crazy. So this is a beautiful thing that just transpired. First off, Mazel tov. Well, first, I've been here for like 3 minutes. I just said first off. Mazel tov to both you and Holly. I hope everyone's doing great. 2 girls and a boy, tremendous. I have 2 boys and a girl. It's great to have the mix, and I couldn't be happier for you guys. And shout out to you for not only working on Saturday but showing up on this Monday afternoon to do this. That's incredible. So you have a very supportive wife. And shout out to GC, looking great in the plaid. Got the big boy chair. Tremendous intro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I have to say, I actually had to go out and get this. I mean, I don't want to rip on you or anything, but went to Old Navy, went to the clearance rack. I mean, 1999.
No, we don't do. You want to know the
inspiration too? I mean, if we can, I believe we have it. Yep, there it is.
Oh,
Just a little Helwani inspired shirt. I mean,
it's not bad. It's not bad.
Pretty much matches. It got this thing on clearance. I mean, they couldn't give this thing away fast enough. I lost the watch, the bracelets, the wristbands. I mean, I am fully drip free now. I am,
I have a confession.
Glasses too, right?
Glasses.
You don't usually wear glasses.
Both of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have a confession. I also have that shirt, and in fact, famously, I don't know.
Nice and stiff, starchy.
This just came to mind. I believe one of the last times that Ariel and I were at an event, it was in Chicago. And we were at Media Day, and I believe we both coincidentally wore that shirt that he was wearing in that photo. I also wore a similar shirt.
Wow.
Nabi of UFC PR took a picture of the 2 of us doing a little bit of a twinning thing. So fortunately, we're not all 3 coordinated today.
Yes.
It would be a little too matchy-matchy.
Yeah, Helwani not in the final.
I know. What is
today.
happening? It's Bizarro world.
Yes.
Guys, vacation Helwani, you know yourself.
Can we break the 4th wall on vacation?
Yeah, what have you been up to, man? We see you posting. It's just like good morning, and you're zip lining. It feels like
the vibes are immaculate.
Can we really break the 4th wall? And like he's almost like vacation shaming us. He's just like, oh, hold on, let me get back to you guys in just a minute.
Yeah.
Just gotta park my ATV. I've been 4-wheeling.
Yes.
Oh, sorry guys. Like just got out of the water. Like it's nice here. I mean, it's ridiculous.
3 for 3 on. Oh, there I am. Yes, there's Claire and I. We went ATV riding earlier today. I mean, I like I said to you guys on text, I couldn't feel further away from our studio right now.
We know.
Must be nice.
Must be
nice, man, because we're in the trenches right now. We are anchored down.
No, it's
10
good.
toes down.
I'm happy someone is. As you can see in those photos, Claire who is riding shotgun with me. She's got some grapes in her hand. I mean, she's living the life. We got very dusty, so I had to go take a nice little bubble bath now to clean myself up.
Jets in the bubble bath.
Yeah, of course.
Champagne on ice next to it.
Absolutely. I'm missing dinner right now to do this little bit.
Poor
while
guy,
you guys
sorry.
were sleeping, I went zip lining for the first time in my life.
I just had a kid on Saturday. I've been doing a lot of sleeping. That's what's been on.
Yeah, what's
my
the
plate
zip
now.
line, man? I didn't know you had it in you.
Though?
I didn't know you had it in you.
I don't.
Can we re-rack that? I want to see it again.
Look at the form. And I had to go with my daughter because she's not. She doesn't weigh enough. You have to weigh. I think you have to weigh like at least 180 combined or something like that. So we had to do it. My mom took that. And I have to say, my heart was beating so fast. My palms were. I mean, it was one of the scariest things. And that was like a good 30 seconds. And I just kept saying to her, "I love you, Claire. I love you, Claire." And she was just laughing.
Yeah, she's not nervous at all. She's not nervous at all. She's ready to go.
And how excited were you by the end that you did it?
By the end, I felt like I had truly accomplished. Well, today I ziplined and I ATV rode for the first time in my life. Both of those for the first time in my life. So I really feel like I'm living it up. I'm YOLOing it up. I'm doing big things. So I'm very happy, but I'm happy that the show is going on. And of course, as you can tell, over the weekend, I was keeping an eye on UFC 192. I don't know how you guys do it.
So not much of an eye.
Yeah, there you go. You know what I was thinking? It's so funny you say that. I was trying to see if I'm truly getting old, and I was trying this morning to remember what 192 was, and I finally figured it out. It took me longer than usual.
Wait.
DC Gustafson in Houston.
Yes, I remember. That was one that I would have known.
Yeah, so I was just trying to compare, where we are 100 pay-per-views later. But yes, 292. I don't know how you guys watch them in the middle of the night. All the fans overseas, you guys are incredible. I don't know how you're fans of the sport, watching things at like 5, 6, 7 a.m. I just wanted to throw out some quick thoughts, and then I'm going to leave it all to you guys because I want to sit back and relax and watch this and enjoy it and download it and follow and rate, review, and comment and all those things.
Still plugging.
First, I'd be lying if I didn't say that the first thing that came to mind was like, most pay-per-views, they're tough to book. This would have been a relatively easy one to book. Sean O'Malley, a Tim Welch, a Ian Gary, a Brad Katona, a Cheeto Vera, a Petros. Like I could have gone 5, 6 deep on this post pay-per-view Monday.
I thought of this.
So that was the first thing.
I'm taking a dig. We get it.
I actually did think of you on vacation.
That wasn't a dig.
No, I don't think you were taking a dig. I was thinking of you like yesterday morning. I was like, man, I wonder if there's a little bit of Helwani. I know he's enjoying vacation, but I wonder if there's a little bit of him that's like, man, we could have had a spectacular show on this post pay-per-view Monday.
Not a little bit, a lot of it. I mean, that was the first thing. In fact, I actually apologized to some people. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm not asking you to come on. It's because of this reason. I'm not in studio on Monday. So I just was like, damn. That would have been good. But anyway, I will be back soon. So want to give obviously massive props to Sean O'Malley. What a walkout. What a song choice. When you walk out to that song, they say you are. I have no idea who sings it, but it was like when I'm listening to that, I'm like, there it is. Yeah, I was like, man, this guy is calling his shot. And then you find out I spoke briefly to Tim Welch afterwards. He said it was their worst camp ever, and he could hardly grapple. The same stuff that they said afterwards as well. So I was like, damn, talk about having, confidence and self-belief. So congratulations to him. You could say what you want about the road to get to the belt. You could say what you want about him not fighting since October. You could say what you want about the resume. You can't say anything about who he beat and how he beat him. And to me, knocking out, TKOing in the second round after that very close first round, Aljamain Sterling of all people, who was on one of the great runs in the history of the bantamweight division, to do that erases any doubt that you can have. Like that guy earned that belt. We talked, and I talked about it. He had not fought in 11 months. Maybe the resume wasn't as good, but like you do that to Aljamain Sterling, you deserve to be champion of the world. There are no knocks that could be made about that guy, in my opinion. That was supremely impressive. That doesn't happen every day. Look at the guys that Aljamain beat: Corey Sandhagens of the world, the Petr Yans of the world, the TJ Dillashars of the world. On and on it goes. And Aljo got knocked out, TKO'd by Sean O'Malley. Beautiful sequence. Those clips of him in the locker room practicing are just tremendous. And you knew that that was good, the way in which he was going to win the fight. So that's incredible. Unfortunately for Aljamain, I don't think he's going to get an immediate rematch. Obviously Sandhagen's there. Obviously Maraba's there. But if Sugar Sean truly wants to come back in December, the fight has to be Cheeto. That would be a massive co-main event to, I would think, either a Leon Colby in December or Yuri Alex, depending on what they do. Maybe they bump Yuri Alex to January and just leave John Jones in November. It's come out that John Jones doesn't want to be on the same card as Colby because of their history and the things that Colby has said about him. So it's going to be interesting to see. But if he truly does want to fight in December and Sandhagen is out and Marab is out, then I think you do the Cheeto fight. So, and I think Aljo should probably stay at 135 if you ask me. Because,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Would you potentially think about trying to give O'Malley a headlining show on the back of this? And I asked that for the reason they posted a finish from a pay-per-view main event, which is something that is not done, right? They are clearly giving Sean O'Malley the big push now as champion, and I believe that YouTube video had like 4.7 million views overnight, all the social media traction. Is there a possibility that you're kind of diminishing that and not taking advantage of what they're trying to build by not having him in a main event, by having him potentially as a co-main?
See, you're on your game. I'm off my game. You're 1,000% right. The reason I just went to co-main event was because of the 135 thing, and I was thinking heavier weight class. Sean O'Malley is one of the biggest stars in the sport right now. You could see the explosion. You could see everyone tweeting, talking about it. KD, it's all over the place. They posted it on social. They posted it on YouTube. 1,000,000% the next time. That was the stupidest thing I've ever said. 1,000,000% the next time he fights, he should headline. Of course he should headline, even if it's against Alex. Or now, Leon Colby, I could see them maybe giving those guys the respect. But like, he is a true blue headliner and a massive star, and deserves all that praise and connects with younger fans. So yes, absolutely. I just don't think, I see Aljo kind of campaigning a little bit. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to get an immediate rematch, unfortunately.
The timing is what becomes the issue here. They've got these fights that they need to make. They've got Colby and Leon on deck. They've got Yuri and Alex. They have to kind of squeeze these in. They've got Connor and Mike in the wings. They've got all these that they have to squeeze in. So there is going to be some ones that could have been potentially headliners that get turned into co-main. And so I get where the thought is and I get where the intention is. But looking at the way they hard pushed Sean O'Malley after this event, it feels like they have to put him in the main. He has to have a card. It has to be the O'Malley card.
And you're 100% right. And I don't have an issue. Other than maybe if I bought the pay-per-view and I'm like, damn, you posted this 5 minutes later. Like, this is the stuff that they should do. This is how you build stars. Like, people are like, oh, look at them favoring Sean O'Malley. Like, no, that's what you should do when you have a superstar on your hands. You should put the entire fight on SportsCenter. You should put it on YouTube. You should put it on social. Let the world know who this guy is because he's that damn good and that damn entertaining, and he deserves all of that. By the way, the finish was 100% on point. Mark Goddard doesn't deserve any criticism there.
Agree.
And the dynamic between Suga and Cheeto is fantastic. Like, those two guys with their fan bases, they're amazing. I'm just blowing by Frank's thing because we don't have a lot of time to go back and forth there.
I know, talk about refs.
I saw some people talking about that. That's just silly. Okay, so Sean O'Malley, superstar. He called it. You feel for Aljo. He comes back. The guy fought 3 times in less than a year. He just fought in May. Tough hand to play with, and he was a stud going in and an absolute class act going out. And he's not done by any stretch. And he'll be back. And he'll be back in the title picture as well. I just don't think he gets it immediately because of the history with Cheeto. Zhang Wei Li is incredible. I would do the Tatiana fight right now. What are we waiting for? All due respect to Yan Xiaonan. If I'm her, I let them two beat each other up and then I fight the winner. If they have the China thing planned, obviously it makes more sense to do that fight there. But to me, why are we delaying the inevitable? Tatiana versus Zhang Wei Li is one of the best female title fights that they can make, period, in the history of the UFC, dating back to 2013 when Ronda debuted. I want to see that fight. It feels inevitable that Tatiana is going to fight for the belt. What are we doing beating around the bush, especially with their health issues? Let's go. Let's do it right now. That's my take on the co-main event. Ian Gary talking about someone who called his shot. Unbelievable, like what he put out there. And then doing that thing on Friday. And like, you're like, man, if you slip up, you are going to get killed.
For those that missed, there was an open workout at a bar. He was basically at a bar doing a greet, and he's working out in the bar, full pads, doing the whole thing, letting people know I'm here in Boston to do some work.
Working out, no ring, no anything in there. Yeah. Like, they just cleared the people out, and he was just front and center in the bar working out on the floor with people.
He's doing a brilliant job, and he's really getting people behind him. I would put him in Dublin next. This to me feels like there's one more, and then you're in the title picture for you and Gary. What are you waiting for? Put him in the Dublin. Put him in the top 5 Dublin fight now, and have him headline, and then have him be in the title picture next year. But maybe it's too late. Maybe it's too late in the game to book that.
It seems like Dana White is alluding to wanting him in New York. They've kind of, Dana has alluded to, like, I have laid out the blueprint for building the Irish Star. It's going to be New York, and then maybe headlining Dublin. And Gary said, I'd rather fight in Vegas, taxes high in New York, but it seems like that we might be seeing Ian later this year, and then maybe Dublin.
And all 6 of his UFC fights so far have been in the States.
Yes.
Be crazy to see him.
Yeah, which is crazy, right? Because he could have fought in London. No, he's done a tremendous job. Didn't love the stuff with Neil and the kid and all that. I get, like, I don't know. Neil Magny seems like one of the most liked fighters in the UFC. Scumbag, middle finger.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but look, he's hyped up. He's young, and he was grabbing onto something, and he delivered. Like, that was as dominant as can be against a really tough guy to be dominant against. So he is a superstar as well, and he has called to have that confidence and back it up every step of the way. And the amazing thing about him is his first couple UFC fights, it was kind of like a little come see, come sell. Like, he got rocked. The opponents weren't tremendous. You were like, okay, let's see if he is truly something to write home about. And now, as the competition has gotten better, he gets better, which is amazing, right? Like D-Rod, Neil, like, he continues to get better. So I can't wait to see him in Dublin, and in MSG, of course, would make a lot of sense. Him versus Wonder Boy seems to be the direction, but let's see what ultimately happens. Spoke about someone wants to chime in. Sorry, I'm going a little long here.
I wanted to propose something. Feel free to disagree. It seems like he has the momentum that maybe Paddy kind of had initially. It seems like he's kind of taken the baton and run with that, with especially the level of activity, especially the way obviously the comparisons of Conor is never going to go away, and that's what it's going to be. But calling your shot, now delivering, absolutely dominating Neil Magny, having the next step in mind, right? Now he wants Wonder Boy. He seems very sure, very focused, has the path kind of laid out for him. And soon, if he's headlining in Dublin, I feel like the roof comes off his potential, right? He becomes one of the biggest stars in the sport, the way O'Malley has also kind of called his shot and called his path along the way. It seems like he's the guy who has that momentum. Whereas if you asked me early on, it seemed like it would have been Paddy, right? And now I feel like with the injury, with the split decision against Jared Gordon, he's kind of cooled, and Ian Gary has slid very much into that spot where he's taking the baton and running with it.
100%. Obviously, the fan bases are a little different, right? UK versus Ireland, but he is past Paddy at this point in terms of strength of schedule. Like, Paddy doesn't have a Neil Magny on his resume, and Jared Gordon, D-Rod, maybe you give Gordon a bit of the nudge there, like the nod in terms of like who's better and who's more accomplished, but he doesn't have a Neil Magny type. So yes, at this point, I would say, and everything he's doing with his social media and all that, he's really making a strong push. So credit to him. Thrilled for Cheeto. Obviously, we love Cheeto here, and he bounced back in a big way against a tough opponent. And if he, who would have thought back in March when he's losing to Corey Sandhagen like that he could be fighting for the belt in December? That's a crazy turn of events. 135 is just bananas, but it's completely opened up now, including for the likes of Petr Yan, who felt like he was in purgatory. Now all of a sudden, Yan could say like, hey, let me run it back. Or if Cheeto wins or if Sandhagen wins, Yan could be like, yo, what about me? So that's, that's obviously a great thing. I'll let you guys talk about Tough. Congratulations to the winners. It is a little weird that there's a 2-time winner now. Like, what did we really accomplish? We already knew he was an Ultimate Fighter winner. Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Do you think Team McGregor won? I mean, Brad Katona, winner of 135, Halaba, winner of 155. That's 1-1 Team Chandler, Team McGregor, and then the coach's challenge, Team McGregor won.
Okay, but
sure.
Here's the thing. And correct me if I'm wrong. You would know this better than me.
I would know.
Was Katona not Team Chandler and then switch?
If you want to play technicalities, but what color was he wearing when he got to hoist the clear glass trophy?
He was always McGregor. He was SPG. Yeah. He was always SPG.
Yeah. My biggest issue with it is that they didn't bring out his original Tough trophy, that they didn't give him the double trophies in the octagon. They didn't give him that moment. They stole him of that moment.
2 belts at MSG. Yeah, 100%. Like, you had a historic moment. and you weren't ready for it.
Ridiculous.
I cannot wait to sit back and hear you dissect. And I hope, I don't even know what you have planned for the show, to be honest, but I need a full breakdown of that 6-minute voice note that he left yesterday. I mean, I listened to it 3 times. It was unbelievable. Like at one point when he's talking about Brad, like, I'd like to know like where you got the motivation now and all this stuff. Like, it's just, the whole thing is riveting. Obviously the top story is him saying December 16th, no dice anymore, which I think we all kind of saw coming, but I can't wait for that breakdown. One last thing, and then I'm going to leave you guys alone.
Please.
Much love to Chris Weidman to come back after 2.5 years and to just step foot in the octagon after that injury is nothing short of amazing. One of the true good guys in the history of the sport. It broke my heart. Brad Tavares did nothing wrong. He did what he had to do to win. But let's let Chris Weidman decide when it's time to go. Remember, he wasn't getting knocked out. He wasn't getting outclassed. That's a massive, massive, massive injury that he just had to overcome. And it involved multiple surgeries. I think he deserves one more chance. And if it's on in the UFC, then, God bless. But I don't think that Chris Weidman, I don't think it's fair to come back after a 2.5-year surgery to fight all the way back and lose to a solid veteran who had a great game plan and then be told it's time to hang it up. I don't think on that night Chris Weidman deserved that. And I don't think that Dana White was being malicious. I don't want this to come across as being malicious. I think it actually came from a place of care and love because he likes Chris, as he said, and his family and Matt Serra and all those guys. But I think Chris deserves another crack. And I don't think on that night he deserved any of that rhetoric. So I was happy to see him back. I was bummed for him that it didn't work out. Tavares had a great game plan and he did what he had to do to win. And I hope that Chris, isn't too down right now, because just coming back to me is a victory in its own right. I know that's not what he wanted, but to come all the way back from that is truly one of the most amazing things that we've seen, because it ended up being worse than the Anderson injury because he had to have multiple surgeries and things were going wrong. So much love to Chris Weidman, one of the great guys, and much love to you guys. You guys are doing other things. Can I just sit back and watch the show now?
Enjoy. Go to your Michelin meal.
It.
Go to your restaurant, your Michelin star restaurant. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy
skydiving on jet, whatever else.
Whatever adventures. I mean, this man, like he's too afraid to touch a door handle when we're in the office because of the germs. But now you're ATVing, you're zip lining. I mean, it's unbelievable scenes over there.
Hey, shout out to my guy Danny Rick for the sweatshirt. You guys know what FEA stands for?
No, tell me.
Walter, close your ears. Fuck 'em all.
Hey.
Before I let you go, last note. Though that would have been a nice outro. The pencil thing is great, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm conducting a conversation over here, and I got plenty of them. I mean, you're gonna come back. You're gonna have plenty of pencils. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, I'm ready to roll on some UFC 292 talk. I mean, this and that and bang and boom. I mean, we're ready to roll here. Number 2s. Ticonderoga's.
Why does this hotel 6 black number 2 pencils right in front of me? It's bizarre.
Leaving you a sharpener as well. That's on the house. Don't even worry about Venmoing me.
Thank you.
That's for
you.
Thank you.
You must say we've improved the space. No, like I feel like
this is
the
fantastic.
decoration, the renovation has been great.
Great.
I don't know if I ever want to come back, if I'm being honest.
We'll see it when we see you, man. Maybe just next time you're in New York, hit us up. Maybe we can have you in studio, get some darts going.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
See you when we see
You're doing a great job. Muzzle tough to the family, Rick. GC, you're killing it. Everyone's killing it back there. I actually do miss you guys. I can't, like I said, I cannot feel further away from the studio, but this is a treat for me to sit back and relax and watch an episode. And I'll be back in 2 weeks. Have a great rest of the show. Much love to the chat. I love you all.
Much
love
to the chat. We'll see you in September.
Peace. I'm out of here. Take care, guys.
His mic is out.
Wow, what a treat that was.
There we go. Ariel Helwani on the show there, joining the MMA Hour. Thanks so much to him. I hope he is enjoying that vacation, and now it's just the two of us.
I mean, finally, right?
Then there were two. Honestly, I mean, now you said his mic was out. He can't hear us. I know there was times where I started twiddling my thumbs. I was like, luckily we got Flash here. I got some Flash games on the computer, so I was able to play some Pong and some Frogger and stuff.
A little
to keep me
solitaire.
entertained. Yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, I got
Frank
stuck
showing
on the
his age.
solitaire. Had to re-rack a couple times.
Frank's a Windows 95 guy.
In all honesty, though. Huge shout out to Ariel for joining the show. Huge shout out to Ariel for letting him host. I mean,
how wild is this? This is so much fun.
It really is wild. I mean, 292 post pay-per-view Monday. Maybe if we didn't have certain circumstances around the show, we would have been joined by a couple guests,
Possibly.
but I think we're good enough. I think we're good enough for the people, and we'll talk to the people later on in the chat. Ariel gave a decent breakdown of 292 there. I mean, he got into the most important notes. Now let's dive a little deeper. Let's start out with the man behind us.
Yeah.
Right here. I mean, look at these incredible paintings that we have in studio. These, if I'm not mistaken, these are the original GN Long paintings that were shown to Sean O'Malley before his fight on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Gian, the incredible artist. These were commissioned by Sanibel for Sean O'Malley, and we get to
we have the
them.
video of him with.
Oh,
I mean, look at this. I mean, the snapshots. There he is with Sean O'Malley, and this is before he became champ. Like, can we talk about the timing of these paintings? Like, also, not just the paintings.
Can't be better than that.
Not just the paintings. We've also got these incredible. I mean, the artwork in itself. I know that he highlighted in the video that one of these is highlighting the kicking of Sean O'Malley, and the other is obviously the striking with the fists. But like the colors, seeing this in studio in person of this size, it really is just like incredible stuff. And then on top of that, we also right here in studio, Gian brought these in as well. These Sean O'Malley, there's the right camera. Sean O'Malley boxing gloves with the art on them. We'll put these on the set as well. I mean, we're just O'Malley'd out here for our 292 breakdown. Look at these things. These are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
available soon, I believe. So
yes. You said it. Sanibel commissioned this. I mean, the artwork.
Smart.
The artwork is insane.
One of the best artists in the game.
So Sean O'Malley is our bantamweight champion of the world, 135-pound division, and he left no doubt about it. Knocks out Aljamain Sterling in round 2 pretty early on as well.
Yep.
You can think what you want about the stoppage. I thought it was fair. I mean,
Agreed.
he completely put him face down onto the canvas and then landed 6, 7, 8. Some of those big follow-up shots. The one big one after he knocks him down, and then there's a few punches landed, and then there's one huge hammer fist that lands, knocks Aljamain's head back against the canvas. He flips over the back. I have no issue with the stoppage. Sean O'Malley, you're 135 champ.
Same page on the stoppage. He was taking some heavy shots. I think if you're Aljamain Sterling, there's an argument, right? You can say, hey, I was turtling, then I got to my back, and I was in a defensive position. There was just a little too much damage coming his way for my purposes and for my liking. And the shot that O'Malley hit him with was picture perfect, beautiful. We've already kind of reviewed the idea that he was practicing and planning that in the back. We've even seen some footage from before that from training where this was a shot he was looking for. And he mentioned it in his post-fight interview. Nobody's as good as him going backwards, right? This is a shot that he's landing, going backwards, coming forward with the right hand and able to take Aljamain Sterling out. Picture perfect. You can't draw it up better. But yes, as far as the stoppage goes and anything related to that, I had absolutely no problem with it. I think if you're Aljamain Sterling, look, you have to say what you can here to say that you want a rematch. My personal opinion on that is I think he's due a rematch. To be completely honest, he was one of the UFC's best champs. He was taking this fight. This will now fly completely under the radar. Nobody will ever talk about this again. But he took this fight in shorter time than he wanted to. Turned around quickly. Did the UFC a solid. Ended up having what he said was a great camp. But now it did him no favors, right? It doesn't matter at the end of the result. Sean O'Malley is now the champion, and he's going to get to dictate the terms. But I would like to see Aljamain Sterling rewarded in some capacity for being a good soldier for the UFC. Will he? I don't know. I would doubt it if I'm sitting here right now on Monday and thinking about it. But I think Aljamain Sterling did everything he needed to do, handled himself like a champion in the lead up, and then handled himself like a champion after the fact, which I think is very important. Was all class, gave Sean O'Malley his credit, and said, look, I want a rematch, but I have to figure out what's next for me.
100%. I mean, the Sugar era, was that a laugh track? Or is that just the studio?
I think that's wild applause. That's raucous applause there.
The Sugar era has officially begun. I thought you were going to, kind of just talk about Sean O'Malley there. Now I kind of feel bad having the wig and the glasses on after you talked about how great of a champion Aljamain Sterling was, which he was, man. And
we can get back to that.
He acted with all class, too, like you have to say. As he was getting showered with booze after his loss, and he's kind of giving props to Sean O'Malley, saying he was better on the feet than I was expecting him to be, and he earned it, and there's really nothing he can do about it at this point. I thought he was a great champion, and it felt like he didn't sometimes. You've harped on it much longer than I have. You've been on this bandwagon for a while that he is one of the more underappreciated fighters on the roster. But yeah, shout out to him. I hope he does get opportunities. I mean, it seems like he's in good spirits.
Yeah.
After the loss, it seems like he's ready to get back on track. Doesn't feel too down and out. So I am excited to see what happens next with Aljamain Sterling. On the flip side of that, what happens next with Sean O'Malley? Are you convinced Chito Vera December?
Timing-wise, if that's going to be the fight, if he's going to fight in December, it has to be Chito, right? Marab is not ready. Corey Sandhagen is not ready. It's got to be Chito, right? What are the other options?
I mean, I'm 100% with you. Especially like we have Sean Strickland and Izzy booked, which I know is circumstantial because of DDP not being ready to fight. We have Colby Covington getting the shot against Leon Edwards because that's going to be a huge fight. Chito Vera, Sean O'Malley, can you get much bigger than that? I don't think you can get any bigger than that at 135. With the circumstances surrounding the injuries in the division, I think it's a no-brainer. I think if they can make that happen in December, it will be massive. And I agree with you, man. I think it can headline. I don't think it has to be a co-main event. No matter what division is fighting on the card as well. I like Sean O'Malley. I know, I'm the guy that always, let's take a look at the IG numbers. Sean O'Malley had like 2.6 million followers on IG before Saturday night. Now he's got like 3.4. Like he's almost gained 1 million followers. He's got Drake commenting on his posts now. Snoop Dogg shouting him out. Like he's got huge names backing him. Like, yes, Kevin Durant talking about how nice he is. Lamar Jackson I saw chiming in. Like it's like we're talking about he has like broken through that ceiling of like UFC fans know him and like some casuals don't. Like he is getting into that star realm where everyone knows him. He's just becoming a household name.
This is a best case scenario for the UFC. They've now got a ready-made star. They've got somebody that the mainstream is talking about. They've got somebody who's ready to rise to the occasion. They got somebody who's saying, I want to turn around and fight in December against a guy who, contrary to what the Sugar State Athletic Commission ruled, who beat Sean O'Malley previously, he has an opportunity to now avenge that, erase the loss from his resume. It's a big opportunity. And if he can capitalize on that and then parlay that into some more title defenses, man, the ceiling is kind of coming off where Sean O'Malley can be at this point.
And let's not just talk about Sean O'Malley being the A side. Chito Vera is also beloved in the MMA community, and getting to see the rematch, like the bad blood between them, it's as big as it gets, man. That's the fight that I'm hoping for. It does kind of feel weird with the way that Corey Sandhagen beat Chito Vera just a few months ago, but obviously because of the injuries, I think that's the fight to make.
They say this in other sports all the time, but it applies just as much in MMA. Availability is the best ability.
100%.
If you are there when the timing is right for a title defense for a UFC champion, look no further than Sean Strickland. Right?
Right.
Sean Strickland's title opportunity is solely on the basis that Israel Adesanya wants to fight on that card, and
Sean Strickland's ready to go.
And DDP is not available, so Sean Strickland's ready. That is how this works. So Chito, it would be disingenuous to compare Sean Strickland and Chito Vera from the sense that it seems like there's not a lot of personal baggage between Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya. On the other side of it, with Chito Vera, there's some real heat, right? Yeah. It's not just the opportunity. It's not just that he's available.
Yeah, it's not one press conference running like we have with Strickland and Adesanya. Like this is about like years. I mean, I remember like we're talking about 2020, I believe it was. Like I can remember that clearly when it happened with Sean O'Malley, and obviously the injury and everything surrounding the loss as well. You know, it needs to get redone, and I'm looking forward to it. One last thing I'll say about Sean O'Malley. I go on his Instagram or his Twitter afterwards, after the fight, obviously being, the merch king that I am. Go to his shop, his website. It had to have been an hour after the fight. And he already has championship collection up. Like he's got shirts, he's got hats, he's got hoodies. Now he's done so many of these fight week special merchandise opportunities. It's almost like he has brands within his own brand, but it's all sugar. He gets the knockout, and then he's the famous picture of him, or now famous picture of him walking off the knockout. You can see his logo on the canvas for Sweet Sweat or whatever it is. Like, it really feels like superstar moments here for Sean O'Malley. Like, it's really the superstar in him is born, him walking out to Lupe Fiasco. So great work by his team. The marketing for him is fantastic. You saw a bunch of people with these wigs in there, and I do have to say, unfortunately, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I was so enamored by the great marketing. I bought a T-shirt. Got to show.
You're probably not alone. I have a feeling
Just
they
a
moved.
T-shirt?
I got a hoodie too. There was a purple hoodie. Like, it looked great. Like, I was like, this will look great in the fall. And then the championship T-shirts, I was like, man, these are pretty great too. Like, it's nice branding. Got like bantamweight champion in gold and like a custom. It was good stuff. Well, I mean, I guess he won when I was wearing this. So like, he might be. Oh. He could reach the ranks of Volkanovski, impervious to the merch curse.
Yeah. You mentioned his Instagram followers. I have a feeling a lot of the merch moved as well. I have a feeling it was a good night financially.
He was pushing the Happy Dad merch too, like pushing the Happy Dad seltzers themselves. I mean, talk about product placement. Walks right out of the cage. Yeah, I saw the weigh-in, but then he jumps out of the cage, takes a huge sip of the Happy Dad. So I'm sure the branding is happy with them.
To your point, nothing about Sean O'Malley feels accidental, right? It all feels very focused, very intentional. He's picking his spots. He's picking the opportunities. He's deciding when things are going to happen and then manifesting them. You know, everybody kind of gets compared to Conor, but it feels like Conor. It really does. It feels like somebody who's kind of seen the path to this, prepared for the path to this, and known they were going to be in this position for a long time. And it doesn't feel like there's a nervousness about it. It doesn't feel like he's kind of finding his way. It feels like he knew exactly where he was going to go. I believe it was Israel Adesanya who kind of said, like, it feels like destiny almost for Sean O'Malley. It seems that way.
Crazy.
It seems that way at this point. He has laid this out, and he's following the game plan to a T, and now it's only up. Now it's only up from here.
Honestly, man. And last thing I'll say on it, you can never take it away from him.
Sure.
He got the belt wrapped around his waist. He is now a UFC champion. As long as he lives, you will refer to him either as UFC champion or former UFC champion Sean O'Malley. Like, he reached the pinnacle. It's crazy. I see the pictures and I'm like, wow, I cannot believe that he really got to the top of the mountain.
To that point, I want to pivot back for a second to Aljamain Sterling.
Please.
Because it's the same case, right? You can't erase the resume. Aljamain Sterling is, in my opinion, the best bantamweight of all time. Him, Dominic Cruz, you're kind of looking in that territory. We'll see where Sean O'Malley goes and has an opportunity to kind of do something special. There's also TJ Dillashaw. I think that Aljamain Sterling has established himself and established himself in a way that you talk about him as the greatest bantamweights of all time. Where does he go from here, right? Is it to try to recapture? We saw him lose to Marlon Moraes. We saw him get knocked out and was able to rebuild himself and come back and look better. Is it at bantamweight? Does he try a move up to 45? We saw earlier today, like, a lot of outlets reporting quotes from Alexander Volkanovski saying, hey, unfortunately, Aljamain Sterling's now lost out on that opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to give him that title shot. Does he go to 45 anyway, clearing way for Merab? Do they both kind of still stay in that division and try to build himself back up to 35? What would you want to see for Aljamain Sterling?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the argument to make there is when he lost to Marlon Moraes by knockout, he was 28.
Yep.
Now he's 34 at bantamweight, and we know at these lower weight classes, and obviously with his size, I mean, dude is massive. He's shredded. The weight cut is tough. Yeah. And just as you age, you see less success at these lower weight classes. I like the idea of clearing the path for Merab. Going to 145, obviously you're not going to get the title fight with Volk. He said it himself in the post-fight Octagon interview. He was like, I have work to do. Imagine what Volk would do to me if Sean O'Malley just did this to me. And then Volk obviously being like, not happening. Like, I'm going to go fight Ilia Topuria if I'm going to fight at 145. So I'd like to see Aljo move up to 145, take like a highly ranked contender. I know I saw some people throwing out Brian Ortega into the ring, something like that. I would like to see him move to 145, take a highly ranked fight, and then see where he goes from there. See if he fits in that division.
Yeah, I think that's the right path. I wouldn't count it out of the question that I think he could rebuild at 35, and that might be something that he considers. There's still work to be done, and I honestly do feel like he probably thinks, if you hear how he was talking about it, he probably thinks there's a path to beating Sean O'Malley too, right? Round one looked kind of how I expected the fight and the rest of the fight to go. It seemed like, and this would be an easy excuse to make, so he won't make this excuse. I'll kind of lay this out. There's a urgency that he showed in round two that I don't necessarily think helped him. I think he was a little aggressive in looking to pressure Sean O'Malley. I think if he was a little more relaxed, there's an opportunity for him there. And I think he's probably thinking the same thing. I think he's probably looking back at that fight and thinking, if I was a little more patient, if I wasn't trying to press the issue, maybe round 2 looks a lot more like round 1. That said, it would be not fair to not give credit to how special a striker Sean O'Malley is, and talking about the way he talked about himself as a sniper, right? It was like Conor. You find the shot. There's that shot in there for you, and all he needs is that opportunity to land it, and Aljamain Sterling gave him one. But yeah, I think if you're Aljamain Sterling, there's options in both directions. I would personally prefer to see him at 45. I don't want to see him having to cut this weight every single time. I don't want to see him back in that mix against the top contenders. I'd rather see a fresh coat of paint on it. I think he can be competitive at 45. I think he has the size. I think he has the tools where 45 can be intriguing, and why not build yourself up? Now go for a belt in another weight class if you can climb those ranks. So that's what I'd like to see, but I would not be surprised to see him back at 35. It would not shock me even a little bit to think, okay, I can still compete here and I could rebuild. What gets dicey is the Merab factor, right?
Yeah.
Like 35 is the division he ruled, and now he's not ruling it anymore, and he's still in the same division as Merab. That could potentially be dicey.
And we're coming up on 6 months now since the Merab injury, so he's only getting closer to his return. So I do stand by the 145 move. It's going to end up being one of the biggest moments of the year. Kind of crazy how it lined up almost a year to the day of the Leon Usman moment. Like,
yes.
It's just wild how these last 2 August pay-per-views have delivered such huge moments.
And not only that, think about the parallels with kind of become a striker, but more of a wrestler versus long, rangy striker. Like, this is the same kind of prototype.
It's really crazy to see this behind the scenes now that's becoming unveiled now that the fight is over, about him not being able to grapple 6 weeks leading up to it. Like, he's... That clip, I believe it was with Bradley Martin of Sean and Tim, and they were like, yep, this is getting cut out. They obviously posted it now that the fight is over, and they're just like, yeah, there's a good chance. Like, he just grapples us and chokes us out. Like, it's just like, there's a very real chance that it happens. I got a rib injury or whatever it is, and like, we've just accepted that. And then still to go into the fight, like, Tim was saying, anyone else is pulling out. Anyone in his shoes is probably pulling out of this fight, but to show up calm, cool, collected, find the shot, have the patience, speaks volumes, man. Another
parallel to Conor McGregor. It feels like the Chad Mendes. It feels like, hey, I'm a little bit compromised, but I know if I can land this shot, I'm going to do it. And he did. And there's echoes of Conor throughout everything that he's doing. And you could, it's very easy to do that on people's rise, but man, does he feel like he has whatever that thing is.
One of the coldest lines of the year.
Yes.
I believe it was our very own Jose Youngs maybe said, all 3 judges scored round 1 for you. And then he said, would they score round 2?
Yes.
I mean, that was
Absolutely
ice cold. So Sean O'Malley, the bantamweight champion of the world.
Crazy.
Still feels weird coming out. Like I said all week, because like I was kind of indifferent on who won. I was like, I mean, for chaos factor, I wanted O'Malley to win, but I very much enjoy Aljamain Sterling, and I was like, man, if he can pull this off, if he can knock him out, it will be so crazy, it will be so insane. And sure enough, he did it. And now this is the world we live in, and it is a chaotic one for sure.
One thing worth noting, and again speaks to kind of Sean O'Malley's intention and nothing being accidental. He does something that I think not enough fighters think about or do, or in fact go the other direction. All week, all lead up, he has talked about how great Aljamain Sterling is. He has talked about how good Aljamain Sterling is, the best bantamweight of all time. If you put your opponent over, if you set the stakes and keep raising and ratcheting up expectations that Aljamain Sterling is so good, when you beat him, you become better. As opposed to the opponent who breaks down their fighter, dismisses them at every turn and says, this guy's nothing. He's got nothing for me. I'm just going to take him out. Then when you beat him, what does it mean? It means nothing. It's insignificant. And so Sean O'Malley is very smart and very calculated in saying that Aljamain Sterling is the best bantamweight of all time, is great, and I'm that much greater, not accidental. And I think that is
I like that. Perfect. I like that you said that, because we can get into that in just a few moments. But let's move on from the main event. Let's I'll actually lose the wig, man. I gotta lose, wearing glasses today. I can't see a thing. I don't know how people. I'm always contacts. Like I can't see a thing. There's a clock over there. I can't barely read it. I can't see the monitor. Like I am.
Can't speak either. Or what?
I am. Wow. There we go.
All right, Frankie.
I mean, I was about blind there without the glasses. I was flying blind with the Sean O'Malley conversation.
I dare say Sugar Helwani was one of your better looks, though.
The combo there. Yeah, I looked great. Let's lose the chain here. The co-main event of the evening.
Yes.
And still, Weili Zhang in just one of the most dominant 5-round decisions I have had the pleasure of watching. Outstrikes her on total strikes, 296 to 29. I mean, we get scorecards across the board, 50-43, 50-44, and a 49-45. Racks up 16 minutes of control time. Other than the moments when Lemos had 2 sub-attempts in there, it was one-way traffic for the full 25.
Yeah, it's worth noting, if ahead of time I told you that this fight was going to be contested mostly on the ground in positional control, you probably would have guessed that Zhang Weili won this fight, right? Very smart game plan. Take a very dangerous striker. To her credit, as one-sided as the scorecards were, as one-sided as the metrics were, as one-sided as the strike statistics were, Amanda Lemos felt dangerous at all times, which I think you can't say about a lot of fighters. Like, by the time you're getting dominated in that capacity, a lot of times they start to fade. When she landed big. And especially in round 5, there were some shots that I think were adding up as Zhang Weili starts to get more tired. She's a load for a lot of different fighters in that division. I don't think this is going to set her back very far. I think she's going to be in fights with a lot of the top strawweights. And man, that power is real. Her power is absolutely real. But Zhang Weili just, her game plan between the striking and between the grappling, she just was not going to lose that night.
Would I be off like comparing it to Peña Nunes too?
Sure.
Peña dangerous throughout the whole fight, but obviously the scorecards very very wide when it came to the end of it. Our friend Juliana Peña getting another right pick in the Parlay Pals on Weili Zhang, and we'll get into that in a little bit as well.
Do we have to? Maybe we don't. So let's get that.
I mean, let's talk about it, dude. What changed? What flipped in Weili Zhang? Just not even 2 years ago, not even two full years ago, she's losing a split decision to Rose Namajunas. Now she's back, 2 finishes over Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Carla Esparza gets the belt back, and now a dominant performance over Amanda Lemos. Like, a flip has switched.
If I'm going to be honest, a switch has flipped. If I'm going to be honest, I really just think it's Rose Namajunas is a bad matchup for her. She doesn't have the sauce to beat Rose. In my opinion, that second fight was pretty close. I actually think in real time, I was watching it in the arena, I actually think I scored it for Zhang.
Okay.
There was
her only 2 losses in the UFC are both to Rose.
And that doesn't surprise me. Like, it feels like the combination of skills that she has, where her physicality comes into play, where her grappling can come into play, where her striking can come into play. She's so well-rounded and so solid everywhere. She's not going to beat herself. It seems like Rose just kind of had her number. A lot of the other strawweights, I don't think are going to have that combination of skills that Rose has. And now with Rose out of the division, it seems like Zhang has an opportunity here to kind of separate herself. Don't have that skill set. I think it's that. I think it's really that. I think she would have continued to roll until she met opposition that was similar to Rose Namajunas. Now we've got some fun, interesting challenges ahead for her. I think Yan Xiaonan is maybe more in the mold of where she's going to be able to look good. She's going to look like herself. But Tatiana Suarez, man.
If you do the Yan Xiaonan fight, it has to be in China.
You don't do that anywhere else.
Even if it's like a main event of a fight night.
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with that as well. But if you can do it in China, I mean, I feel like the place would go absolutely bananas for them. And I would love to see that fight. I mean, Yan Xiaonan has been very impressive of late. But man, Ariel's not far off with the Tyler Santos or Tatiana Suarez. I'm sorry, getting the next shot, because I mean, she looked incredible before the layoff. Now she's come back, 2 finishes, I believe, looking fantastic. It does kind of feel inevitable there as well.
I think it's inevitable that Tatiana Suarez gets the shot. It would be a misstep, in my opinion, to not do Yan.
Capitalize, right.
To
capitalize.
do Yan and Zhang in China.
Because you can make the argument for her being there.
Oh, yeah. Her resume is up there. Her resume is solid. She deserves a title opportunity. It would be a misstep, in my opinion. I think if you can lock down the locale, if you can say we have an event, we have a venue in China, and they've been to China before, do that fight. Make it the headliner of a fight night.
Scenes, yes. Headliner of a fight night.
Same as we're doing. Look,
scenes would be amazing.
We've got the card in Vegas, the Noche UFC card. Yeah. Alexa Grasso is headlining. It's a fight night. You do the same thing in China with Zhang Weili. You headline, you do the Yan Xiaonan fight, and you have the winner fight Tatiana Suarez.
Either of those fights, Yan Xiaonan in China or Tatiana Suarez, I would be wildly excited for.
Yes.
I love that we have this juice back at 115.
Absolutely. Fresh faces at 115 is very nice.
Fresh faces to take on a now seemingly dominant champion.
Absolutely.
Like, it just feels like there is no stopping Wiley Zhang right now. It is wildly impressive. Let's move to the featured bout of the night. Ian Machado Gary takes down Neil Magny in another dominant decision. You talked about Suga hyping up Sterling all week. Ian Gary did not do much of that with Neil Magny. He's lost to everybody. He does this, he does that. You know, really kind of, I mean, for lack of a better word, I mean, he was essentially just shitting on Neil Magny all week. And then afterwards, he gives him the praise of, you know, he's fought the best of the best in the division, yada, yada, yada. But not much love lost between the two.
Yeah.
Impressive performance. Performance was wildly impressive, especially how he's been stepping it up. Like we said, kind of struggled against Jordan Williams a little bit, got dropped by Song Kanan, and now first round finish over Daniel Rodriguez, who was wildly tough and a dominant. I think one scorecard was a 30-24 in there.
Complete one-way traffic.
Never in danger either. I mean, just dropping him. How many did he drop him 5 times with leg kicks? Like it was brutal. And now might find his way into the top 10. And like you guys said, I mean, we're 1 or 2 wins away from a title shot for Ian Gary, which feels crazy. Your whole thought process around him, the open workout, the going hard at Neil Magny, and then the performance itself. Your thoughts on Ian Gary?
He's doing everything right. Similar to how I was talking about Sean O'Malley, right? He's building. I will say he seems to not be. Sean O'Malley feels a little bit effortless. Sean O'Malley feels a little bit like, hey, I'm doing what I'm doing. You either vibe with it or you don't. You either draft with it or you don't. His feels a little more manufactured, a little bit.
I think he would even agree with that. There is clear effort and calculations going into.
He's a disruptor.
Going into everything that he's doing. But I mean, there are fans that are loving it. When he showed out at that bar, like the scenes were incredible, and I love that. You know, he's like, no one disrespect anyone, no one create any problems. Like, we're here to have a good time, we're here to have fun. Everyone's getting shit signed, everyone's getting a picture.
For better or worse, he's settling into like a cool dad role, right? Like, everybody be cool, everybody be calm. Don't talk about the kids. We're gonna do that. Everybody's safe.
Imagine like being the guy at the bar, like and doing something out of the ordinary, doing something disrespectful, and then it's just like, oh yeah, you want to fight? And it's Ian Gary.
No, slapping the sippy cup out of people's hands. To that point, I don't mean that in a. I'm not necessarily making a quality analysis of that. Just pointing out that it feels to me Sean O'Malley's a little bit effortless. Ian Gary's a little bit more intentional, a little bit more manufactured from that perspective, but effective. Working.
Oh yeah, we're talking about him too, and his performances are backing it up. His performances are backing it up, man.
This is where I think the key part of it comes in. Sean O'Malley, even until you get that performance, which I think the Aljamain Sterling performance was, all of this is just the lead up to that. It will not pay off. It will not lead to anything if when you get to that opportunity, when you finally get to that golden moment, when you're headlining Dublin, when you're in a title fight and you fall short, it was for naught. And this was the thing that Conor McGregor did and Ronda Rousey did that I think people forget and think that they were all the hype and think that they were all the things outside the cage. When they got to those moments, they shined the brightest. And we saw that from Sean O'Malley on Saturday. We saw when he got that opportunity injured, dealing with adversity, he was able to shine. When Ian Machado Gary gets that opportunity, is he going to shine? Is he going to be headlining in Dublin and absolutely knock somebody out in front of that crowd? Is he going to be in a title opportunity and win it? This is where the payoff comes. This, up until now, this is just the preamble. This is just the appetizer. This is just the setup.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, that's a good way to put it. I love the idea. I know he's been in the States for every one of his UFC fights so far.
Smartly so.
I know they're pushing New York. I kind of love the idea of re-racking the Jeff Neal fight if it's available. He's ranked number 8 right now. I feel like that's just another beautiful stepping moment. And if he wins that fight, then in 2024, we book him in Dublin, headlining a fight night in Dublin, Ireland against someone. I mean, he's not going to fight Gilbert Burns, obviously, because they fight on the same team. Hamzat is ranked 4th, but he's obviously moving to middleweight. You can't imagine Bilal would take that fight. I mean, there's really not a ton of pickings for him at welterweight. Like, do they match him up with Shavkat?
that feels like you're kind of killing off two prospects, right? We've talked about this before. You really
Yeah.
want to avoid those. But I do think there's going to be a lot of top 10 guys that are like, no.
I think after the Jeff Neal fight, because there have been reports that that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was offered the fight, but
So to be fair, Dana White said that, right?
said that.
We don't know.
What were the circumstances around it too? We don't fully know. Was this, was he offered a full camp, everything like that? Obviously not. So maybe that one is still in play. I mean, man, that Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Ian Machado Guerrero headlining in Dublin. If, like, say he beats Jeff Neal and then he goes and headlines against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in Dublin, I mean, the scenes would be chaotic. I mean, the roof would go off the place for this kid.
If Wonderboy is up for it, and maybe the reason that fight wasn't made was the timing of it or the negotiation with the UFC about getting paid for his previous fight, and Wonderboy is willing to fight Ian Gary, let's do it. Let's roll that out right now.
So here's the thing. Let's say it's not Wonderboy. Let's say he fights in November in New York and he beats Jeff Neal. He takes on number 8 Jeff Neal. So now we have Ian
where there's
Gary.
A built-in storyline because of what he said. He's playing mental games with him. The whole shirt. I'm sure Jeff Neal wants that back. Yep.
Of course. Ranked number 8. Perfect lineup for it. Let's say he goes in and he wins that fight. Now we have Ian Machado Gary sitting around 7 or 8 in the rankings. If it's not Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, it's going to be a big test. It would be Shavkat is 6th.
Yep.
Gilbert is 5th. He's not going to fight Gilbert.
And timing wise, just to stop down on Shavkat for a second, Kelvin Gastelum falls out. It seems like he's maybe trying to stay on, but without an opponent, maybe we roll it forward to November. MSG, big spot. It's possible.
If Ian Gary fought Shavkat Rakhmonov and won and did it in front of a New York crowd, you talk about a star being born. If he were to go in there and beat Shavkat Rakhmonov, do you even do the Dublin headliner, or do you just throw him into a title shot after that?
You throw him into a title shot, and on the other side of that,
aren't they teammates?
If are they?
That might actually be. Shavkat has been at ATT before, hasn't he?
Yeah, so maybe
they wouldn't fight.
Maybe they could look at Frank.
Look at Frank, dude. Look at Frankie Beans over there.
On the other side of that, let's say a Shavkat or anybody else, if they beat Ian Gary, that they get the momentum, right? They get the opportunities. The build that he's been doing, and speaking to what I was talking about earlier, the build that he's been doing would now be for them.
I'm not going to lie. It's kind of tough booking him beyond a Jeff Neal fight.
It's tough. The top of the division is not going to want that fight.
Are you going to do Ian Gary, Kamaru Usman?
Well, I don't think Usman wants that fight. And not from the... Please. Let me clarify something for a second. When I say they're not going to want that fight,
they're not scared.
I don't mean that
to take the fight.
They're scared of Ian Gary. They're scared of this person. They're scared of that person. There is a risk that you're putting... There's something that you're putting on the line in terms of your ranking to fight somebody who is further down in the ranking, especially that far. Right now, he's fringe top 15. Right now, we're talking about cracking into the top 10. If you're somebody like Kamaru Usman, who literally just lost the title, to go down and take that opportunity may not make sense for you if you're looking to hunt and get back into that title picture. So that is what I say. Kamaru Usman is not scared to fight anybody. Let me just be very clear about that. And neither is Bilal Muhammad. Neither is anybody at the top of that division. But it might not make sense for where you're thinking about your next step and where you're going in your career. So yes, it's tough to match up. In my opinion, the Wonder Boy fight makes absolute sense. It's a perfect fight.
Headlining in Dublin, that sounds incredible to me.
Or in an amazing feature fight at MSG. Why not?
Yeah.
Or December. Why not?
Sign me up for any of these.
That makes a lot of sense.
So Ian Gary, I think Jeff Neal is next. Maybe Wonder Boy, but I like the Jeff Neal fight next. And it's kind of tough to book him, but then if he gets past Jeff Neal, then we're seriously getting into the range.
To fight somebody.
Oh, of course, and someone very serious, and someone to get him, push him into that. It's time for the title shot.
It becomes a situation where the UFC is not going to give the opposition much of a choice. Like Ian Gary's your fight, and this is what it's going to be. We're not there yet. I feel like there's flexibility and latitude for those people to say, I don't want to fight Ian Gary yet.
And still just 25 years old, man. He's got time. He's got time. So
no rush.
Gonna be interesting.
He said 4 fights from the title. That's where he's kind of like put himself.
I really think 3 fights from now will be a title shot for him.
Sure.
I think he's got 2 more wins, and then the third will be the title shot. That's obviously if he keeps winning. Obviously, a loss derails all of this.
Yep.
And muddies the water a lot. But yeah, very interesting to see what's going to happen with him, and brilliant performance by him as well. the disrespect in Magny was, got to do it in the build up to the fight. The throwing the birds during the fight. I feel like we've seen that from someone before.
Fight that you're
Do we have any? Yeah, I mean, when better to do it?
He seems to genuinely dislike Neil Magny.
Here's the thing. Again, feeling intentional, feeling smart. Like there's not a whole lot you can really do with Neil Magny, right? Like who doesn't like Neil Magny? Like it's kind of he had to find something.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Make fun of the butt scoop.
The butt scoots were great.
I mean, those were
when he did the full octagon cage to cage butt scoot.
Yes.
That was a tremendous moment. Rolling along on the main card, Mario Bautista picks up a win over Damon Blackshear. Obviously that was
notice for Blackshear.
Short notice. That was supposed to be Cody Garbrandt. Damon Blackshear. Shout out to him, bro. Because not only did he fight the week before on the prelim of an Apex card, and then he gets in on the main card of a pay-per-view, he showed out, man. Like it was a close competitive fight. Like there were some people calling for him to win it.
Against the guy in Mario Bautista who people are very high on.
Yes.
Like this is one of those prospects that people are earmarking. So to do that on a week's notice, this is a stock up for both guys situation, in my opinion.
For sure. Great performance by both guys, and now Damon Blackshear has the respect of a lot of people, including me. First fight on the main card, the opener, Chito Vera, big. I feel like that was back against the wall type moments. He had to get that win over Pedro Munoz, who is not an easy out, man.
No.
I mean, we saw him take on Chris Gutierrez in his last fight as a big underdog as well, and roll to a 30-27 decision victory. And that fight was close, man. I mean, I think there was a 30-27 scorecard, but Chito Vera got on the horse early, man, and he was working that jab, and he had a ton of success with it. It wasn't one of those typical slow starts from Chito, and it was a great performance by him. He got himself a win, and he may have just got himself a title shot.
Very composed, technical performance from Chito, right? Not just looking for the flash, not just waiting for the knockout to kind of appear and take that opportunity. Knew that he needed to win this fight, and in my opinion, did enough. I would have scored it maybe 29-28 for Chito.
I thought it was 29-28. I thought Pedro won round 2, and then Chito bounced back in round 3 and was impressive. I thought Chito won round 1, but
conventional.
To your point, man. I mean, he did what he had to do. Like I felt like he knew Pedro was not going to back down. He knew he was going to be in his face, relentless the whole time. And dude, talk about the toughness of these two guys.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing that was going to put those guys out. And also, we noted it on the watch party on Saturday. This dude Chito, like they're going into round 3. Looks like he's just getting off the bus, man. He's just chilling, man. Barely breaking a sweat. Like it feels like he could. I know people always say it about guys with great cardio. It feels like he could actually go for 10 rounds.
To be honest, good or bad, it's kind of how he looked in Sandhagen too, right? Like it was just like he looks like the same throughout a fight. He's
never been knocked down, never been knocked out, and like doesn't really wear damage that much either.
No, you see the photos of him in some of his tougher fights. He looks like he's got a little red on his face, no scratches on him. He wears it well. He's always dangerous. Performance that he needed, in my opinion, just to right the ship, right? Say, hey, I'm still here. I'm still a top contender. And man, did he get some help. When Sean O'Malley won that fight.
Oh, my God.
Man, did he get
Was he
some
the
help.
happiest person in the entire
Other than
arena?
Sean.
I think Sean O'Malley was here, and then Chito, and then Tim Welch. I think that was probably the power rankings of happiest people in the arena.
The moment that fight ended with O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling, maybe 10 tweets from Chito Vera. I'm ready. It's coming.
I'm good to go, man. Whenever I can come back out into the octagon. I mean, Aljo and Sean didn't go that long. I can come back out. We'll just do 5 rounds right now.
Picked up a huge opportunity here. Let's see whether it's next for him or not. For O'Malley, that is. I don't know. What's next for O'Malley? I don't know. But Chito Vera will be fighting Sean O'Malley for a title, in my opinion, at some point. That has to happen.
Scenes around that are going to be fantastic. Two fighters that the whole bantamweight division, man. There's not a guy in that division that I dislike. I mean, there's really not many on the UFC roster, but like Marlon Chito Vera and Sean O'Malley at near the top of the list of favorites to watch.
I feel bad like saying the word loser, right? Because he's not really a loser and didn't lose, but man, it feels like if Corey Sandhagen was healthy, this would have been his moment, right? Like if Corey Sandhagen, just off that performance against Chito, comes in
and then with the injury, the way that he handled Rob Font on short notice.
Sorry, Font.
And also Chito, it was also Chito this
Font,
year.
The most recent fight.
A dominant victory. I know it was a split decision, but that was one of the worst scorecards of the year, if not the worst.
Yeah.
Because it was one-sided for Corey Sandhagen. Yeah, man.
It would have been.
But who knows what's this sport moves so unbelievably fast. Who knows what's going to be waiting for him on the other side of this injury? I mean, the 135, y'all can continue to harp on 155. 135 is the most interesting division to me, because all this, Merab going to be coming back from injury soon. Sandhagen going to be coming back from injury soon. Umar, what is going to happen with him?
Sean O'Malley champion.
Sean O'Malley is the champion.
Aljamain Sterling in the win.
Aljamain Sterling, like, what is still going to happen with him as well? Cheeto looks like he's going to get a title shot. I mean, there's just so many storylines going on with this division. It's incredible.
I will not debate you. It is the most interesting. I still
thank you.
55
deepest,
in my heart. The deepest and the
thank
best.
you. Shout out to 135.
But 35 is fun, and Sean O'Malley becoming champion, I think, adds 10 layers of that, right? Aljamain Sterling was a dominant champion, fought the who's who. I'm not going to go on my soapbox. I don't think he got the respect that he deserves as champion. I'm hoping that he gets the respect he deserves now that he's not champion. I'm not holding my breath. Hopefully he's not either. But I think he deserves it. But now the opportunities that have just opened up with Sean O'Malley as champion of 135 are infinite. This is going to be a lot of fun.
We keep talking about his superstar prowess.
Yes.
EA Sports, UFC 5 coming out very soon.
You could do worse.
Still haven't announced the cover. Any chance we see, something similar to this on the cover of that game? I mean, you talk about the superstar. Last time out, it was Israel Adesanya and Jorge Masvidal on the cover.
Yeah,
feel like you catch lightning in a bottle and you put Sean O'Malley on the cover of UFC 5. And it just, the skyrocket continues.
You could do worse than a Sean O'Malley video game cover.
I bet it'd look pretty cool, too. I mean,
he's got a good look for it.
I imagine it's going to look good. Let's jump into the prelims a little bit before we close out the recap. Chris Weidman back. Looked very dicey for a moment there early on in the second round. Brad Tavares obviously going heavy on the leg kicks the entire way through. And like it looked like a moment when we started seeing the hobbling from Chris Weidman. I was like, no, like it was like a wave of sadness caught over me. I thought we were going to see a leg kick TKO, but he fought through it, man. And there was a moment where he started bouncing back and he started bringing the fight to Brad Tavares, and like he gives him a leg kick.
Max?
And he checks the leg kick and he like points to the ground and he's just like, I'm here, 10 toes down. I'm ready to go. That was an incredible moment. I was hyped up. I was like, oh, Chris Weidman, like he's the tides are turning. Unfortunately, doesn't get the hand raise, but makes it through it. Legs chopped to hell and back. Yep. I mean, I think I heard something about some CL blown out. ACL, MCL
Dana in the
post-fight
presser essentially said that the UFC's doctor, said that there was some kind of damage to the leg.
Your thoughts, Ariel stood firmly that it is not time for him to retire. He can go out when he wants to. Dana obviously saying that he thinks that it's time, especially if he's going to have to recuperate after another injury. Your thoughts on Chris Weidman and the continuing of his career?
I thought Ariel absolutely nailed this, which is, one, I don't think Dana White was being disrespectful in the sense that he's saying he wants to see Chris Weidman walk away. He said it.
I don't think so either.
Chris Weidman has done literally everything there is to do in MMA. There is nothing that he's holding on for now that would add to the legacy short of somehow making a run and getting back to a title. There's nothing that he doesn't have on his resume that he's adding right now. He's adding money to his family's to his pockets and his family, and he should, in my opinion, be able to do that. He did not come out and get knocked out on a compromised leg. He looked pretty halfway decent to me. Brad Tavares had a better game plan. Is a really solid fighter at middleweight. Don't have an issue if he gets another fight. Really, no issue in my opinion. But if you ask me, do I think that Chris Weidman gains anything or has anything to prove? There's nothing left. There's nothing left. His legacy is secured. He was the guy that dethroned Anderson Silva when it couldn't be done and has nothing left to prove in his career. But if he wants to suit it up again and wants to put some more money in his pocket and wants to make one more run, that performance to me wasn't one where I'm concerned, right? I'm not health concerned about Chris Weidman after that performance. I think there's a bit, and Ariel touched on this, I think there's a bit of a rush to retire people in this sport prematurely. And I understand it from the perspective that we want our fighters to stay healthy. This is a very dangerous sport. He's coming off a very brutal injury, and I get it. And I understand people being concerned for him. But he's an adult. He's a grown man, and he's making this intention to continue to fight. And the commission is clearing him. At a certain point, I have to back up. I have to say this is Chris Weidman's wish and let him go with it. So I have no problem with him fighting again, but I also understand where Dana White's coming from and feel the same way. There's nothing left for Chris Weidman to prove. I'd be perfectly fine if he said, I'm leaving tomorrow. Great career, legendary fighter, did what could not be done at the time. Have a great trip in the UFC Hall of Fame and enjoy the rest of your life.
I'm with you, man. I'm happy with whatever Chris Weidman wants to do. It wasn't a performance where I was like, oh man, it's time to go, Chris. Like it's done. I felt like if he thinks he's got another one in him, I would be happy to watch Chris Weidman make the walk again.
What a slap in the face it would be to Brad Tavares to say that, right? Like losing a decision to Brad Tavares is not some mark on your career, in my opinion. Like Chris looked fine. He's coming off a very, very bad injury and looked fine. He looked absolutely fine. To your point, he was the one pressing the action at certain points, even on what seemed like a compromised leg, right? Like it seemed like he was in a wheelchair.
He was in a wheelchair after. It feels like he was hobbled.
He was fine. He was absolutely fine. I don't think we need to sound any alarms. If he wants to fight, let him fight. But don't make it disrespectful to Brad Tavares to make it like a situation. You lose to Brad Tavares, you're not ready. The dude was highly ranked for a long time. He's fine. Brad Tavares is a good fighter. And had a motivation talking about the wildfires in Maui, had a motivation to really show out and have a good performance, which I think he did, and we should give credit to. Like, it's not just Weidman in there. Brad Tavares is now back. Like, good performance, ready to kind of reestablish himself. Good opportunity for both. Good fight for Chris Weidman to come back to. Okay with another one. No problem.
Yeah, I'm with you. RoboCop, big time. I mean... Little bit of, some people saying elbow to the back of the head. It did look a little dicey, but I mean, still what you were going to say something about
when they're moving in there,
yeah,
that's fair game, right? Like you're not going to just sit there and launch an elbow to the back of somebody's head, but when the elbow is being thrown and the head moves into it and all those things, that's where it becomes a judgment call, and I'm okay with how that looked. Man, that power is legit, whether it be on the ground, whether it be on the feet. That dude is a scary dude.
Fun fighter, dude. You know you're going to get an action-packed fight when RoboCop gets in there. I mean, from Saturday night to a few fights ago when he had the cut as deep as a river on his forehead.
Yes.
Like, I mean, the dude is an all-action fighter. Love getting to watch him go. The tough finales. Kurt Halaba. Can we talk about it, man? I mean, 0-4 in the UFC on tough. For those that watch, the real ones that spent their time with Conor McGregor and
shout out to AK Lee and
and Casey Leydon. Don't forget
that's
him.
Right, our boy Casey,
who were in the trenches. Tough. Season 31. Team McGregor, Team Chandler. Kurt Halaba also looked like he was about to lose that fight to Lee Hammond. Conor McGregor got on socials and referenced that, how it was just a lucky submission and they need to rematch it in the UFC. But 0-4 in the UFC. Then he looks like he's about to lose that fight to Lee Hammond, gets the submission, comes back.
So set me straight on that. Connor's right to it.
Lee Hammond was winning the fight. This was in the tough scenario where there's 2 rounds if one fighter is up 2018, and it was looking like Lee Hammond was about to be up 2018, and then Kurt Halaba gets a big submission win and basically saves his...
prospects.
His prospects of getting back to the UFC. And I mean, right now, Kurt Halaba is 36 years old. So like there wasn't much prospects if he didn't get out of tough.
Wow.
And then puts on a master class against his very close friend, Jason Knight. And then comes out here and gets a huge finish win over Austin Hubbard as an underdog. And now he's back in the UFC. I mean, incredible story.
Unfortunately for Conor McGregor and Lee Hammond, in my opinion, like, you kind of move on, right? I don't think you're looking down at Lee Hammond, who apparently had a great performance on the show and almost had him, and saying like, this is the grudge match. Like, I'm looking at UFC roster and saying, here it is. Like,
it is funny how like much Conor died on the hill for it. I mean, he was pushing.
It was a rough season for Conor McGregor.
Pushes for his guys. I still make the argument. Katona, Coach's Challenge.
He got the dub.
Yeah, Team Blue. Big dub.
Sorry, Mike. It wasn't enough to practically sweep the show and do the best in terms of performances in the show. But yeah, I mean, incredible for those guys. For Halaba,
and Katona. Katona and Gibson put on an absolute war. It was a banger. Fight of the night. I hope Gibson gets a contract out of it. I mean, he's aging as well. It's tough to say because it was the tough finale and he did lose. But
Dana in the presser said, We're gonna take.
Let's go. Yeah. I want to see as many of my tough guys to get on.
He said he was getting hounded. Like you could not.
I mean, it was a fantastic fight, dude. And the funniest thing is, on the last episode of Tough, Cody Gibson and Brad Katona went at it. I mean, Gibson's dropping like, everyone hates you. Your fights are so boring. Everyone turns off the TVs.
They knew.
Yeah, before he punched his ticket to the finale. Yeah, and
Wow.
then sure enough, they put on that war. So shout out to them. Congratulations to them.
Can I ask you one thing?
Please.
Have you ever seen Stephan Bonner versus Forrest Griffin?
No. There's so many fights that I haven't seen. I've almost considered doing like a rewatch series where I go back and like put my eyes on these incredible fights that I've never watched.
I would love to see that.
Kind of know the outcome of, like to really show my new fandom, my casualness. I couldn't say confidently who won Forrest Griffin.
So Forrest Griffin.
I almost don't want you to ruin it for me. I need to go back and just
All right,
watch.
I will not continue. The reason I bring that up, a lot of people saying like shades of it, because that was the finale of Tough One.
Yeah.
And it was a back and forth kind of war. That was the one where everybody's calling up people. Now we're not like, it's not the same time. People are calling up, you got to turn on Spike TV so you can see this thing. People asking like, Dana, is this the best one since? It seemed like that was the vibe. That
it was a great fight, man.
People were loving this. And I think, as I said in the post-fight, Dana White said they'll make sure Cody gets handled.
And shout out to Brad Katona, ultimate fighter, whatever you may want to say. Biggest miss of the night out of everything was them not having his second trophy. I mean, that was absolutely ridiculous. But it was nice to see. It's nice to see the switch up. They wear the tough uniforms when they fight out there. That always looks good. One last time in the old red and blue before we close the book on Tough Season 31. Andre Petroski. Big win for him over Gerald Meerschaert. Very close fight. Expected a finish there, but he pulls out a win against a veteran opponent.
Is that the fight that, a great fight from both? It seemed like GM3 was hanging in there. Is that the fight that gets you Bo Nickel if you're Andre Petroski?
No. But he kept banging the drum at the post-fight presser. I don't think that's the fight that gets you Bo Nickel. We'll see. I mean, he's still obviously...
He wants it.
He wants it bad.
And it seems like, not to his point, he made the point on the show with Ariel. He made the show in the post-fight. It doesn't seem like everybody's calling for Bo Nickel, right?
No.
It seems like there's a lot of, and this reminds me of Hamzat a little bit. There's a lot of people being like at the top kind of calling for them, but the people underneath, the people on the same level, it seems a little quiet, right? Like if you wanted that fight, you could have had it. Petroski's the one who is beating the drum. I wouldn't hate seeing it, but it does feel like to me, if I'm Bo Nickel, I'm looking elsewhere.
At this point in Bo Nickel's career, though, it isn't like he's fighting the top of the division. So, like a Petroski fight does sort of make sense as they're warming him up into the rankings.
To act like Bo Nickel is like head and shoulders above Andre Petroski, when Petroski is what now 4-0, 5-0 in the UFC. I don't even know what the actual number is.
5-0, yes.
5-0 in the UFC. Like Bo Nickel ain't blowing by that guy in terms of what the resume looks like.
It'd
so
be interesting
it makes
to see.
sense.
And imagine the star power that would be created from Andre Petroski if he would pull off a win against Bo Nickel.
He's doing it right. Call for that shot and continue to beat that drum.
Take your shot.
You might get it. Same way people call for Patty. That is what you need to be doing. That is what you need to be doing.
Last two fights on the card. Natalia Silva, I know you're a big fan of her at 125. She seems to have a lot of fans for good reason. I mean, bubbly personality, athletic as it gets, man. I mean, she's doing like she looked like Dak Prescott out there with the hip feints.
Hips.
I mean, she was like fainting by just like turning the hips. I mean, it was incredible.
New York Jet, Dak Prescott, or no, Patriot, New England Patriot, right?
No, Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh,
Ezekiel
right.
Elliott. He's still with the Cowboys.
Yeah,
we'll brush up on it. Aaron Rodgers, the Jets.
Help me.
Yeah. I mean, football season's starting soon. Yeah. We'll brush up the knowledge. 30-27 over a tough out. A veteran in Andrea Lee. I mean, she is fun to watch. Supremely athletic, and she's putting together the wins now. So interesting to see what's going to happen with her at 125.
This is what she needs. Andrea Lee is a really solid win for your career. And now it starts to go up, right? Now it starts to get into the rank conversation.
You know what? I wouldn't mind if we're not going to give her a ranked opponent. And I don't know if she's going to be ranked or not. The curtain jerker winner, Karine Silva. I mean, puts on another incredible performance. She's still 17 professional wins for her, 17 wins by finish. I mean, she's aggressive and violent as they come, putting on impressive performances, giving Marina Moroz her first loss by finish. I wouldn't hate a Silva matchup.
Silva on Silva crime.
I mean, these up and comers in the 125 division. I don't hate that.
Again, to me, it feels like maybe you keep them separate. There's bodies, right? You can kind of keep them separate and see where they go, and then maybe down the line, it reminds me, you got the Macy Barber Ribas type situation. That's where we go. Like you keep them separate for a while, and then you kind of bring them together. So yeah. big things ahead for both of them.
And a big card period. I mean, to put the bow on the present, it was 292. Wiley Zhang, unbelievable performance. Sugar Sean O'Malley, the bantamweight champion of the world. I mean, fantastic outcomes on the card. I mean, in terms of what's next for the UFC.
As a tough fan,
yes.
Are you disappointed that Michael Chandler was there in the building supporting his guys, but not one Conor McGregor?
No, because I didn't have any expectations for McGregor to be there. I didn't think McGregor was going to be there.
I heard Brad Katona say earlier in the week, like, yeah, I think Connor's showing up. I thought to myself,
I feel like Conor was on the phone. He's just like, yeah, I might make it. I might make it. We'll see. I'll let you know. I'll let you know, bro. I'll let you know. Yeah, you gave him a heavy. I'll let you know. Typically someone gets off the phone, they're like, he's not coming. He's not coming. So
it also feels like with the fight in flux, that'd be a little too close to the sun, right? A little too much attention. All of a sudden, it's like, Conor, when are you coming back?
And like, it's not booked yet. It would have been nice. Frank was holding out heavy for a date announcement from McGregor Chandler, but unfortunately, we didn't get it.
Yeah, it seems like to the point that we talked about with Ariel earlier, the voice notes seem to allude to like he wants it in December, but maybe not. I mean, early next year.
We can't sit here and give a full audio notes breakdown, but I have to give a shout out to the listeners and the viewers of this program. Tagging me in those, it makes my day. I mean, when I see a tag and then I scroll up and I see the blue, the audio note and you know the voice note coming out of Conor McGregor. I was listening to the one. It was a 4-parter, which actually now that I'm scrolling down, it looks like they've been deleted. I don't know if there's a time limit.
That's very uncommon for Conor McGregor.
But
not expected.
It looks like they're deleted now. I was listening to it yesterday, the 4-parter, and like I was halfway through it, and I was sitting there on the couch with my girlfriend, and she's just like, "Who is that? And what are they even saying?" I was just like, "Oh, this is Conor McGregor." Just
late night Conor McGregor voice.
Yeah,
just strap in.
Just a stream of consciousness from him. We're jumping from place to place.
I have to expect when I press play on those, like, what song are we going to be serenaded with? That's usually
the songs are. That's when you know it's hitting. I mean, he doesn't just think; he knows that he has a great voice.
Oh yeah,
he loves singing.
You know yourself, as he might say, or as
you know yourself.
Somebody we know who can't be here today. You know,
who?
Don't miss him. I don't know. Forgot who he even is.
There's someone else that works on the show that isn't even
Before we move on from Boston, one thing.
Please.
Throw in a curveball here. Can we cut to the back? Do we have a microphone in front of one of our special guests today?
We don't.
Okay. Maybe just a show them on camera, just so we can say hi.
Say hi.
Look at that dark control room. We see someone.
Who's that? Who's that in the corner there? One Jose Youngs of MMA Fighting, who was
Let's
on
go.
the scene.
Shout out to Jose Youngs.
Shout out to Jose Youngs.
Yeah.
No microphone though. I guess
I
Frank just didn't have much to do back
didn't
there.
even care. I mean, these guys.
Crazy stuff.
Low rent production.
Well, we're actually not completely done with the UFC 292 talk because we have to talk about the bets. We have to talk about
you do.
The Parlay Boys, the Parlay Pals. We've
shout out Juliana
bones
Pena.
to be picked.
Okay, interesting.
It looks like I got another ad read here, Frank. Is that what I do?
Two.
I got two left.
Make sure you do both.
You want me to bang them out back to back?
Yeah, let's just do that.
Wow, I really feel important with this. Let's let's really get ready for this one.
Oh, that's a bit aggressive.
Rick, you've waited all year, and the time has finally arrived. College football is back, and so are the traditions, the tailgates, and the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. Most importantly, Georgia football is back. Don't know if you guys know this. 2-time defending national champions, back-to-back, going for the three-peat, trying to make a little bit of what they like to call history, kicking it off soon in Athens. Less than 2 weeks away. We're about 10 weeks away from Georgia football being back, from college football being back. And right now, new customers, they can score a $200 in bonus bets offer instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. Go ahead. Don't care what the spread is. 40, 45, 50, 55. Make it whatever you want. I'm taking the dogs. There's no doubt about that. Maybe I don't know if they'll do this. Maybe Georgia wins the national championship. I think they're sitting around plus 250, something like that. Go ahead and lock it up. Almost got me. Almost pulled a discuss upcoming game by mentioning available lines and odds from Sportsbook. Almost got me, but we're going to keep rolling right along. Kick off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. If you don't have it by now, I don't really know what you're doing. Use the code the MMA Hour. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football game. Feel like I just said that, but we're saying it again. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code the MMA Hour. What do you think? What do you think I can read a minute? How fast do you think I can get through this?
It's got to be legible.
Legible? Okay. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races, all games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777. That's 4 sevens on the end there. Or visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill and Casino Resort in Kansas. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Short amount of time. Make sure to get those in. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKingsSportsbook.com/football terms. There's another one down. Expected these to fly a little bit better. And now let's get into the last one. DraftKings, very close to the heart.
Water?
I actually have some. Thank you, though. But
Yeah.
we'll get a splash.
What do we think, Frank? I dare say one of the best reads we've ever had
Am I
on the
sounding
show.
parched?
What was with the cat?
Yeah, what was that? I mean, yeah. Oh, there it
Yeah,
is.
what is that, Frank?
I thought that was maybe in the room with you guys.
No, dude, you're dropping that in. What is that?
It's a cat.
Breaking the fourth wall, I told Frank, I was like, yeah, go crazy with the sounds.
That wasn't what you meant.
Let's
though.
go ahead and, not that crazy.
Tighten it up.
Not that crazy.
Are you going to do the next ad read?
Yeah,
or
let's
just
do
gonna-
it. Let's do it. These are a little bit trickier than I expected. I've written down the timestamps of a million bazillion ads in my lifetime, running boards and producing various shows. Never been the one reading them. Exciting.
You're doing great.
Exciting
Sounded like
stuff
you
for
were to
me.
stop, yeah.
Exciting stuff for me, but like it's a minefield here of different texts, and I have to make sure I'm reading the right ones. So let's start this off. Support for this episode, this specific one, the GC and Rick Hour, the Rick and GC show, whatever you want to call it, comes from BetterHelp. Have you ever had to make a big decision but felt stuck, Rick?
Yeah.
What to name your kid? Was that a tough decision?
Whether to show up today.
Whether to show up today. That's another good one. Ever pivot careers? You make a big move.
I did.
Start a podcast. The Rick and GC show.
Launched right now.
Launched today. Fantastic stuff. Who'd you talk to about that decision? Did you talk to a friend? Maybe your wife? Maybe your son, Logan? Hey, Logan, what do you think, man? Should I go into this show or what?
Yeah, he's a little too busy feeding, but I talked to you guys on our chat. That's where the decision was made.
Felt like talking it out helped, did you?
It did, absolutely.
I think so too. And sometimes we're faced with a crossroads in life. Should I come into the studio? Should I help Connor out, or should I leave GC on an island by himself? To kind of stumble through this thing. And we don't know which path to take when we do reach those crossroads. Maybe you're thinking about a career change or feeling like your relationship needs some attention. Logan probably needs some attention right now. Your wife probably needs some attention.
Derelict.
And here you are at doing a YouTube show. We digress. Whatever it
on
is.
the script?
Yeah. Shout out to BetterHelp.
Very
whatever it is, therapy can help you out. It can help you map your future and trust yourself to find the way forward. If you're thinking of starting therapy, I've thought about it. Who doesn't need a little therapy in their life? These
You've
trying
just thought
times.
about it? You haven't done it?
Haven't done it yet.
But maybe this is the thing.
But maybe this is the sign. Maybe this is the calling. Maybe you give BetterHelp a try. Maybe I'll give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire. You'll get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime if you don't like them for no additional charge. Not even 1 penny to change if you don't like it. So you can just keep trying different therapists. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/MMA Hour. That's BetterHelp.com/MMA Hour today. This day. The MMA Hour, New York Rick, GC show, whatever you want to call it. And we'll give you 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/the MMA Hour.
Well done.
Thanks to our friends over at BetterHelp and DraftKings. That's the reads down, if I do say so myself. We're paying the bills over here. Don't worry about it, Ariel. We have got you covered. So where do we start? I mean,
I don't even know where we're going.
This will almost feel like a BetterHelp therapy session.
Oh.
Let's just go. Let's put the graphic up if we have it. Parlay Pals, another loss.
Oh, you know, I haven't seen this because I was having a kid. I didn't even see this.
A lot of green on there. Once again, a lot of green and just that sliver of red right next to old RIC.
Yeah.
I mean, mentally, where are you at? I mean, obviously, you're on cloud nine. You're in complete jubilation over the birth of your child, but then again, you cost the Parlay Pals.
Yeah, this is what 3 in a row now.
3 in a row, yes. Where
keeping track?
everyone hits but you. So me, Juliana, everyone 9 for 9.
Is it getting hot?
Rick 0 for
getting
3.
hot in here?
I mean,
you okay, temperature wise?
I'm fine, dude. I'm good. I mean, I'm. Wallet's a little lighter, but
yeah, right there. How am I feeling? I'm feeling cold. I'm not feeling great. It's not feeling good. I deserve to take the medicine on this. I'll be honest. It was the second thing I thought about while watching it. The first I thought about was, man, you know, I've been riding with Aljo for a while here. The picks have served me well. Aljo's been somebody I pick when he's fighting. And it felt like the under 1.5 or the fight doesn't go the distance or any other under was really just kind of sitting there for me. But I picked with my heart. And I went with Aljamain Sterling. And let me just say, I was fairly confident as well. It wasn't just with the heart. If you actually listen to Sean O'Malley in the post-fight, he says, look, like, if you look at the resumes, if you look at the style matchup, if you knew I was injured, like, you probably would all pick Aljamain Sterling. But no, I have to take it on the chin. It's been a rough go.
I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to be like, you know, you've let us down 3 weeks in a row. We're now tanking further and further into red. I don't know if we're ever going to get out of this because of you.
You're saying all of these words.
No. I'm not going to say those things. I'm not going to sit here and berate him. And,
no one's disappointed.
No one. Listen. Me amongst those people that is not disappointed. I'm not disappointed. You know, we're not putting in the long hours of research and getting our picks right week after week after week and not cashing any of them because of you. We're not saying any of that.
You would be a bad friend if you said anything.
I agree. I'm in 100% agreement with you, and I support you. And I'm inviting you back for another week. Do you want to?
I don't want the invite.
Okay,
count me out.
All right, a breather. Take 1 week away.
Listen.
Get the broad spectrum. Spend some time with Logan. Sit down. Get the headspace right. It's been busy time for you.
Look, we've established the rule. You're the sole person to get it wrong. You should be out. I should have been out last week. Juliana Pena's been killing it.
Killing it. 2-0. 2-0. No doubters.
Let's just slide her in there.
So
let me go off to the side.
Me, Frankie, and Pena for UFC Singapore.
Frankie, you and Pena. I'll sit out with Ariel. Then, you know, let me catch my wind. This is what I'll do. Maybe I'll make like a little secret ghost pick, right?
Okay, yeah. You test the waters. Test the waters.
I'm back, baby. You guys go on a run, and then I'll slide back in there.
You write it down. Write
them down.
I got plenty of pencils here, sharpened. If you need a sharpener, I have one as well.
Beautiful.
You write down the pick, and then we'll open the envelope.
I'll slide it to you guys. Yep. You just say, "Oh, there he goes."
I'll open the envelope post card Singapore on Saturday.
Let's not show them. I don't want people to know. We'll just
it'll be between us. We'll know if you got the confidence back.
I need my mojo back.
So that's what we're gonna do then, I guess. We'll do me, Frankie, and Pena. How we got here, I don't know, but we're here.
This is the winning trio. I like it.
Frank, do we go ahead and pick now, or do we just?
I think we have to.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'm really open to anything.
Let's recap, and then maybe on the back end.
Let's do it. Let's.
No,
Love it. No, that's all right though. I like that. I like that we got that in there. Let's go with the recap of 292. We'll start with the singles. Man, I was like, damn, I really did bad on the singles when I was recapping this. I was like, I started out bad. I did get the win on Friday night with Larissa Pacheco by knockout. That minus 150 was an absolute gift. I mean,
we should talk about that just to say, like, Larissa Pacheco, like, seems like $1 million in her future. Yeah,
I think that's like almost a certainty at this point.
Yeah.
Unbelievable performance by her. It took her 13 seconds to get a third consecutive knockout over Elena Kolesnik.
Yeah.
Just not a good matchup for Elena. The O'Malley Sterling fight doesn't go to a decision. That was definitely my most confident pick on the card. Felt like we could have gotten the finish in Mirsha Petrosky. Felt like we could have gotten the finish in Zhang Lemos. And like, we're business is booming if we get either of those. Felt like we could have gotten the Zhang by submission. There were a couple moments where we were really close. Unfortunately, we don't. Let's go to the parlays real quick. I don't want to say it. Like, I'm going to knock on wood, but we've had some success with the parlays of late. If we can go to the graphic for it, there it is, 2-0 on the parlay. So we do end up netting out. We can go to the final recap now. We netted out up a unit still.
Nice.
6 of the last 7 weeks. Feels like we're doing good. I mean, it was the the Amanda Serrano under that cost that 1 week, but I would never say that. I would never say that. So nice. Up 69 units all time. Back to that number. Nice. And we're slowly approaching that green mark in 2023. I got faith, man. I got 4 months left. I think I can get there. But we shall see. So that was UFC 292. Felt like it could have been a bigger night. Was really hoping we could have. Actually, while we're still here, can we do the big hitter real quick? We just got one today.
Oh, wow.
It's a little quiet. We usually talk over this part.
Oh, do we? Let me just say, another costume change for GC. I mean, absolutely smashing.
I mean, we have a whole
department,
friggin' wardrobe back here. I'm not gonna lie, too. In this camera, the green is reflecting down on the glasses. I'm looking pretty cool. A lot to go through this week. Got a ton of submissions, but I ended up just choosing one because one was so impressive to me. It is our man Jay Singh. He is back. When you have a performance like him, you get the one and only. You get the one and only. He goes a 7-pick parlay. Karine Silva, Natalia Silva, Petrosky, Brad Tavares, Ian Machado, Gary, Marlon Vera, and Sean O'Malley. Puts $450 on that, nets out $11,580. Oh, yeah, and then he also hits an 11-pick parlay. Everyone I just mentioned. Plus, he added in Zhang Weili. He adds in Mario Bautista. He adds in Gregory Rodriguez, and he adds in Kurt Holaba and Brad Katona. I mean, just unbelievable stuff. Puts 150 on that, wins $20,585, ends the night up, plus $32,165.93. That is, that's not a bad night.
Not a bad night at all. Shout out to him.
If I'm not mistaken, 11-pick parlay, was that the full card?
Did it get up because they added the tough fights?
Yeah.
What was the final number?
No, there was 12. So yeah. he left one off. Maybe he didn't though. I mean, that looks like every single one of them. Maybe I'm tripping though. Either way, shout out to him. $32,000.
We're splitting hairs here. Yeah, shout out.
$32,000 is unbelievable. And I guess we'll make some picks, Frank. No show on Wednesday. No show
for a little bit. Yeah.
No show the following week. This is a reminder. And then no show on Labor Day the week after that. So our return date will be Wednesday, September 6th. That's when we will all be back bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Or do we just do a show? Let's.
I kind of think so.
Take it over.
Do we even need Ariel's permission?
Yeah.
I mean, we got the keys at the place. We might as well just be here on
I
Wednesday.
did just have a kid. Maybe I'll take some time
You wanna
off.
take some time?
All right, yeah, let's take the time off.
All right, cool. I do have a flight to Atlanta.
Okay.
I have to catch.
Good.
Frank, you want to start us off?
Should we use the randomizer?
I'll flip a coin because it's just between
Okay,
me
you know
and
what? Here, let's go.
Nice.
There's a lot on this card.
There is a lot on this card.
I think I'm gonna stick with the UFC.
Okay.
Go to the main event.
Yep.
Gonna pick
Yeah.
Max.
Max Holloway minus 850. Yeah,
Is it that high?
Yeah, it is that high.
No, all right. You know what? Yeah, Max.
All right, I like that. Max Holloway. I'll leave the door open. We won't dig too big of a hole for Juliana Pena. I won't take Rinya Nakamura because that would get us to minus 370 with Pena to go. I will take my man Rolando Bedoya minus 285. That gets us to minus 200 with Pena to go. She's free to choose whoever she wants. We'll get her pick later in the week. And hopefully we'll get a win.
Juliana Pena. Yeah.
Who's going to be the one that costs it this week?
Nobody. You guys are going to get
This
this
is a
done.
winning week.
I think this is the winning
Now
week.
that I'm out, I feel like it's smooth sailing.
I think this is going to be a winning week too. UFC Singapore, looking forward to that one.
Are you?
Early start. I said I love early starts, and this is an early start.
That is a very early start.
I believe it is a 8 a.m.
Main card.
8 a.m. main card start, 4 a.m. Otherwise. And that's that. UFC Singapore, UFC 292. One more thing to do, being men of the people,
Sure.
as we are. Let's say we head to the chat, answer some questions, get a couple in there. As they say, we like to let our hair down. However they do that.
Ariel likes to say that, yes.
Ariel likes to say that. Maybe some questions in the chat. Can we get any? That's the real question. Do people even care what we have to say? Wow, no response on that. I feel
there's
like
a little bit of a delay.
We'll see. We'll give it a couple minutes to populate. See if we get any
There's
questions.
a couple of questions. Like someone wrote Smith earlier. That was
Oh
fun.
yeah, Anthony
You wanna
Smith.
answer that?
Anthony Smith is an underdog right now. Rematch with Ryan Spann. Took care of business back in 2021 against Ryan Spann. Obviously at different points in their careers, but that is going to be an exciting fight. I think we see a finish in that one. Elijah One saying, "Hell yeah, we care." Shout out. Is it better with Ariel gone from Sean Sullivan? I think that's a no-brainer. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it is absolutely.
I mean, what you don't get in interviewing the most notable people in the sport and pushing news and narratives forward and advancing storylines in MMA and getting a very important person in MMA and Ariel's opinion on things, you get the fun, you know? So those things are great, but we're trading it for some fun.
Wow. This is great. We're actually getting some questions. A lot of people saying we need to play darts right now. Frank, what do you make of that?
If we had only thought about that before this
I'm down to play darts, man. I'm down for it.
Cool. Yeah, let's just make sure we have all the mics ready to go and the
I think
cameras.
we're good to go.
Yeah.
You say no, Frank?
I'm saying no.
Wow.
So if anyone
That's
wants to be
okay.
upset, they can be upset with me.
I'm ready for darts. I think that would actually be great. You're scared of the work. People want to see the
I'm not-
180. People want to see the 180. I mean, look at that.
I'm not at all scared of the work in the sense that I know I have no chance.
Yeah.
I'm just fodder.
The man who normally sits here thinks he's the master of the darts.
See, that might be something.
The amount of times I've called for a championship level match with Helwani, I mean, he is ducking me left, right, and center. I try to butter him up. I'm just like, hey, so when are we going to do the darts match on the program? And he's just like, oh yeah, dude, we'll get to that. Yeah, I think we can do that at some point. I'm talking Real Deal 501 for the broadcasting world title here.
So on that front, oh wow.
I think this is it. I mean, I'm sitting here in the studio.
his belt.
I mean, this is put it on the line, Helwani. Put it on the line. I'm here to take this in a mano-a-mano darts match.
Wow.
He doesn't want the smoke. We'll hear nothing from him. And this is put the belt on the line. Darts. Whenever he's ready to go down.
I need to
501.
ask this. So when he does inevitably come back, right?
Yeah, sure.
Are we like coming with a different posture? Is the chest a little more puffed out when he
no,
walks
absolutely.
in? Are we going to be sitting
Absolutely
in his
not.
chair saying,
We have
what
him
are you here
sit in the
for?
control
Absolutely
room.
not. No,
He sits
absolutely
back
not.
there?
I hit up like 38 different fighters to come on the show, and like 29.
We don't want that.
29 of them left me on scene. The other 9 blocked me, and we were never any closer to getting any guests. So you have to keep the respect for Helwani. He also, I have to say, I mean, we're an hour 48 in this. I mean, he just goes,
It's
he
tough.
just wings and dings it. The bladder's starting to feel a little pressure. You got to give him an extra respect there.
Sound like my wife.
The amount of runs that I make to and from the bathroom during the show is
sound
well
like my
known. Yeah, so no, that's not happening. We have to give respect to.
There was a time where this show used to be, and Joe, Alex can attest to this. There's like 6-hour versions of this show, and I'm talking weekly.
Oh yeah,
Like there's some deep ones. There's some ones where we're getting out of here. It's nighttime, and we're rubbing the eyes, ready to pull on the hat, and go to sleep in the studio.
one show a week though. One show a week.
One show a week.
We do the double duty
We
now.
had to maximize. The time.
You know, I'm just
now
playing,
we're doing
just playing
more
devil's
hours.
advocate.
No, you're right.
Just playing devil's advocate.
You're
Here,
right.
you know, it's more total hours, more cumulative.
It wasn't-
I mean, look at this. I mean, do I have the hand motions down? Maybe a couple of these thrown in there.
Seinfeld voice. There's a few things we could work in here.
The whisper into the microphone, maybe something like that. I mean, we're really working on it. Let's get back to the questions,
Yes.
though. Man, well, now, do we have the counter up?
They stopped asking the questions.
Well, I got a couple here that I actually saved. GC, any updates on video versions of No Bets Barred? We are waiting on that. There is hope. There is potential. Me and Rick have been in discussion. I see a little sly smile from him. Just need a little assistance. Nothing yet, but we are efforting it, as they say. I will circle back with you when we have news, Cole B.
That would be big.
Also, with the Gary Wonderboy comment from Dana, what happened to We Don't Make Fights on Fight Night? The Wonderboy hate needs to stop.
I don't think he made that fight.
Yeah, I also don't. I obviously, like, potentially he offered it. I don't think there's too much hate for Wonderboy. I think he's still a universally loved guy. When's the Iron Turtle interview? He's one that blocked me. I actually tried to get him on. Will we play darts? Frank said no, unfortunately. I need a 10-7 Helwani hoodie. Me too. Any updates on the MMA Hour merch? I wish I had some. That is one of the most. That's a touchy subject to me. It'll be in the book.
We've got. Let me jump in with one from Jed Mashu, MMA Fighting Zone, your co-host on No Bets Barred. Who's the next UFC champion to lose their belt?
Wow, who's the next UFC champion to lose their belt?
If the odds are, the fact that Jed's asking this question, it makes me only think of one champion that comes to mind. It could be Alexa Grasso, Valentina Shevchenko, right? Maybe revenge for Valentina. Seems like a
Valentina the big favorite in that fight. I don't think that's a terrible one.
I'll tell you one. What's that?
Is someone in your ear? I'm hearing nothing.
There's someone in my ear.
Wow. This
amateur hour on my part. I'll tell you one. It's not going to be. It's not going to be Israel Adesanya. Sean Strickland is not taking that belt.
All right, I like that. I'll go with Valentina Shevchenko.
It seems like that's one that you got to kind of think she has a chance in, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's a prohibitive favorite. Now that Tough is over, who do you want the two fighters featured for next season's Tough Hang? Next season's Tough Hang is in question right now. That's yet to be seen. What is the agreement that we made, Frank?
If Ngannou and Chael Sonnen are the coaches, that you would do a whole other Tough Hang.
Yes, if it's Francis Ngannou versus Chael Sonnen on Tough, we will that'll guarantee another edition of Tough Hang.
I love that. I love the stipulation. Shout out to AK Lee and EKC Leiden. Tough Hang's a great show. It's funny you mentioned Chael, because it was interesting to see him this week back in a UFC capacity.
Yeah.
He was on a panel for the UFC for the 30th anniversary. Let me just say, there is nobody that compares to that guy on the mic. He's
dude. One of the greatest of all time on the mic, man.
The greatest, in my opinion.
All right,
He's just the guy.
Anytime you have a highlight reel, you're an athlete and you have a highlight reel of you trash talking.
Things, yeah.
That's when you know.
So honestly, I don't feel like Chael's out of the question. Now, obviously, it will not be Francis Ngannou. Smart of you to hedge there. I don't think Chael would be out of the question.
All right. I'll make it right now. I'll make the statement right now. Chael in the next season of Tough, I'm there.
Worth it.
I'm there.
He's been 100%. A coach already. He's a great coach multiple times. They could use Chael. Man, Tough is a Tough Hang.
Yeah.
That show was aptly named. Let's just say that. Tough is a Tough Hang. They could use Chael Sonnen. I thought they could use Conor McGregor, but they actually decided not to use him, right? Literally use him. They're showing a lot more of non-Conor and Michael Chandler, which a little bit of a head scratcher here, but I wouldn't mind Chael Sonnen Tough.
Sean Sullivan says, clip the thing about you talking about champs. You will be wrong, he says. Gab asks, will Costa shave your head, GC, next time he's on? Paulo Costa comes in studio and is willing to shave my head.
Another haircut.
The head will be shaved.
Oh, yeah.
If it's Paulo Costa, this is my invitation. It's Paulo Costa to come
Friend
shave
of the show.
Friend of the show.
Barber of the show.
You've gotten a haircut from him.
You're in safe hands. He's the best in the business.
Brandon QFG asks, can he come to the next watch party? I don't know, man. It's a little cramped in here. A little tight in here. If I'm not mistaken, Brandon lives in New York. I want to say he's mentioned the Bowling Green stop to me before. Shout out to Brandon, by the way.
Close to home.
Yeah, very, very close to home. Are these dudes memeing with the pencils today?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean. It just helps me move along the conversation. It's a focal point. It's dare I say, something I depend on as as I get through the program, I've been waiting a couple years for the nose merch. Me too. Happy anniversary to Brandon QFG for his badge. Can we have this show on Fridays before the fights? Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's actually a great idea. You get in touch with Vox Media, we'll get a little bump of the old P check, and I'm here. I mean, I don't have much to do.
Once they see the ratings for this bad boy?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to argue it. I'll let you be my manager. Who was that? Can we get this? I lost it. Damn it, I lost it. There it is. Darren Miguel. Yeah, I'm going to let you manage that, and we get the bump. I'm here. I got nothing better to do on Fridays. I'm here. Sean or Volk on the UFC 5 cover. It's got to be Volk, right? I'm down with either of those, actually. That Volk is a great shout. Also, shout out to me for pulling a Volk out of 25 tie-dye autograph on Saturday. My best pull ever.
Oh, wow.
No big deal.
Nice.
I mean, no big deal.
That was the one thing I missed. I worked all Saturday. I didn't do my main
Volk's
event
one of my
slot
favorite fighters
on the watch party.
Yeah, the white. I pulled just a piece of white cardboard. It was infuriating.
No, what I meant was I missed the watch party. That's my usual main event slot. It would have been great to see me breaking down when Aljamain Sterling lost. But I missed that, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Osio asks, was Tough Hang that bad? No, actually, it was the greatest Tough reaction show to ever hit the airwaves.
For sure.
Tough season 31 was just that bad. Chael and Vandy again. I'm super down for that.
It makes sense, man.
Was Neil Magny beat before the fight started?
No.
Kind of seems like it afterwards.
No, that was just a performance where you got a guy who's slipping down and you got a guy who's on the rise. That feels like the veteran versus the prospect thing. Like, no, not in my opinion. Like, let's call it what it was. He didn't look great against Phil Rowe, I believe was his last fight. Like, he looked good. He got the job done. But yeah, that was a prospect catching a veteran on the way down.
Yeah, Cross acutely points out, no, he was beat after the fight ended. That was a good call from him. Plus Money MMA asks, will Ariel sanitize his area from y'all's germs? LMAO. Yes, every single one of these pencils, this is definitely hitting the trash. No chance he keeps this sharpener, even though I gave it to him out of the love of his heart, out of the love of my heart. And Frank, what do you think? Over, under, we'll set it at 9.5. Is this different? No, did someone touch
Dude, you weren't even allowed to use this microphone.
Yes, literally, this is a new microphone because he was like, no, I can't have it. I have sprayed it, not said it a couple times today, so I can't really blame him there. But yeah, I can assure you, this will be wiped down.
The set department has their work cut out for them, for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then he'll bring in his own little pack of Lysols, and he'll separately wipe
Although,
it down
actually, it seems like Carefree Helwani is like in effect right now. Like, maybe he comes back a different man. Like,
nah, because he'll have booked a show. It'll be a post pay-per-view Monday. No, it'll be the 6th. He'll have booked a show though. The stress will be back up. He'll be back. He'll be back in New York. Everything will be back. Yeah, well, this is definitely getting Lysol. It's gonna be.
He's enjoying it right now, though. Shout out to Carefree Area.
Shout out to Carefree Area. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Let's nerd out, GC. How's the Nintendo Switch? Oh my God, you want to nerd out? I have been nerding out with Rick over and over about this. I've been talking to Frank about it too. I am absolutely in love with it. Playing Zelda Breath of the Wild right now. Just got my first beast, the elephant from the Water Tribe. Electric moments getting that. I mean, it was fantastic stuff. I have to, like, I told this to Rick, I have to, like, stop myself from playing it. Like, last week was a very busy week with the 292 lead up. I had to be like, all right, gotta chill, can't play it as much this week, because man, once I get started, I'll be like looking, and then I'll look back at the clock, I'll be like, oh shit, like I've been playing this for like 3 hours now, and this is just my first game I've started on. I still got to get Super Smash, I got to get Mario Odyssey, like then I have the newest Zelda to play. One of the best gifts I've ever gotten. Shout out to my girlfriend. And if you're thinking about making the purchase, I highly recommend it. It is great stuff. You can take it on the go. I've been playing it on the train, or you can play it at home on the big screen.
Yeah, I've been thinking about one for myself, and then I just realized, like, I haven't played games in so long. It might either suck me in too much or too little. Then it becomes a toy for my daughter, and she doesn't need more of those. So it's one of those things that I'm watching you from afar, and I'm living vicariously through you. I'm enjoying how much you're enjoying.
Oh, I love it. I really can't tell you how much I love it. JP34 asked what card set was from. It was a Panini Select hobby box. Great box. I mean, I got a lot of good stuff in there. TJ Dillashaw merch piece. Obviously, the legendary white cardboard card. auto from Giga Chikadze right as he makes his return for UFC Singapore, and a couple other inserts in there that were pretty cool. So yeah, we had fun with it there.
What is the blank card thing?
Dude, it's literally a piece of white cardboard. It looks like you're about to get like an autograph or like an autograph merch thing with like a piece of their shorts or something. And like when I was pulling it, I want to say it was Israel Adesanya behind it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Thought it was like going to be a huge pull because I did call my shot. I guaranteed I'd get an auto from a champ, which I did.
Oh, you got a good one.
The
Yeah.
last card, dare I say, the best card I could have gotten. So yeah, they really fool you there. I've been banging the drum on Twitter, asking Panini what it's all about. No response yet. We're still waiting on that. So
Because I know they usually
at Panini. You know.
They usually do those cards where you can like redeem it. That's what I thought you were saying. Like, you know how it's a piece of paper. It says what card you can redeem. Then you send it to them, and then they send you back the like
an
crazy,
IOU.
Yeah, kind of. It basically is that, but it sounds like it was just a blank piece of paper.
Do you guys think Suga can become a double champ right now or ever? I mean, listen, anything's possible with this dude at this point. I mean, I wasn't sold he was ever going to become a champion, and now he is. But yeah, on the flip side of that, not right now.
Not right
now.
now.
The competition is Volkanovski, and if Topuria somehow gets the belt, that is tough sledding at 145 to move up.
The thing that he benefits from a great deal is his reach, his size, his stylistic advantages that he has at 35, right? For the first time ever, Aljamain Sterling was facing a reach disadvantage. I believe first time ever, at least like UFC, first time ever he's facing a reach disadvantage. That's a real big benefit. Once you start climbing up divisions, those physical gifts become minimized and go away. And all of a sudden you're in there with a guy who used to weigh 300 pounds or whatever the Volk rugby stories have become at this point. And he's short, he's stocky, but his arms aren't as short as you may think once you start moving up those divisions. So yeah, I don't like stylistically the way that looks against Volk. So no, in my opinion, but ever? Now that's not out of the question.
Can't count it out.
The dude is so young. That's not. Yeah. I believe the youngest current UFC champ at this point now. I think I read
28 years
that
old.
earlier.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
So yeah, I would not count it out, but not currently. I'm not ready yet.
Plus Money MMA says, just know we all really appreciate this chat interaction moment. I appreciate the chat for even asking us questions. I was getting a little worried there. I was like, oh man, no one wants to hear from us, huh?
Yeah.
Super Dave Fairtex says you should all fart on the chair. Done. Paul M says, when Connor and Ian Gary fight, will it be in Ireland? If they fight, yeah, that'd probably be a good place to put it. Doubt they ever fight.
No.
When I say doubt, I'm almost 1,000% sure they will never fight. That would be quite ridiculous. Let's see. Who else we got? Colby, hope you see that. I got lost here. I mean, there's quite a few here. Let's see. Steven Dawson, GC, if you play any of the Pokemon games, you need to get Sword or Shield first, then either Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee, Diamond or Pearl. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this, Steven, because diehard fan of the Pokemon games. I mean, my whole childhood growing up. So I appreciate that. Let's see. 24-inch dubs. It was my first UFC event at 292. The crowd was bananas. Huge pop for Ian Gary, lads. Yeah, shout out and welcome to the chat. Welcome to the MMA fans chat. He's got the 001 badge next to his name.
Whoa.
Hope you enjoyed it. I still haven't been to my first UFC pay-per-view. Still waiting on that. That will be a great moment when I...
What are we thinking? When's it going to happen? Predict
November?
it now. It would be sick in November. Obviously, the watch parties are a thing now. But I mean, I got to skip one to go. Right? You know, it'll be my Ariel on vacation moment. You know, I'll get to step away from it, check in. Please don't let this be the last episode of the New York Rick and GC show. Wow, shout out! Thank you for appreciating.
Coming soon Fridays. Every Friday. Mark your calendar.
Is GC using Ariel's computer? Did he transfer the sticker his own? Thank you, God. Someone noticed. I mean, one of these. Maybe I'll adjust the flags here. Yes, that is the old Nottingham Forest sticker after a big win on Saturday. Big win on Saturday. We got our first 3 points of the season. Shout out to Brighton. Shout out to my goals over at Brighton. Shout out to Aston Villa as well, Leon Rocky Edwards' team. Both of them doing well this weekend.
Now, to my eye,
what?
This looks like a printout of or something. Like what is this exactly?
Whoa.
You should probably get those glasses checked
Okay.
because this is the official Helwani Nottingham Forest badge. They sent me
all
one
right.
knowing that I was going to host the show today.
Got it. Wow.
No,
Shout out to Nottingham Forest.
This is my laptop. You know, a laptop, very powerful stuff. Early predictions on Dern versus Andrade. I mean, my biggest thing when it comes to that fight is Jessica Andrade, beginning of the year, mollywops Lauren Murphy.
Yep.
Beautiful performance. Takes the short notice fight against Erin Blanchfield, gets finished. And then I think 2 more fights has been finished in a row. She recently fought against Tatiana Suarez, got finished. And there's a world where she ends up getting finished again by Mackenzie Dern. Like, that would be a rough way to end a year that started so well.
We love Jessica Andrade because she's so game and she's stepping into these fights and giving us matchups we want to see. I think it's time to manage the career a little bit better. Take a step back, not be so willing to be the dance partner for some of these really good up and coming type fighters, and just maybe step back and be a little more careful with the career. I'm not more power to her. If she gets it done, we'll be looking at it and saying, wow, she's back. How silly were me? But man, Mackenzie Dern's skill set seems to be one that plays right into the hands, or rather not plays into the hands of Jessica Andrade, but is the opposite of what you want to see from Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade is a finisher. Mackenzie Dern is extremely tough. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that easy for Andrade to just kind of steamroll her. If we've seen nothing else, we know Mackenzie Dern is very, very tough. And then once it hits the ground, man, that's going to be tough sledding against Mackenzie Dern. So I don't love the style matchup for her. And I just feel why does she need to return so soon? Why can't we just have a little more time off? Why can't we fight somebody a little further back and really be a little more careful with the career? Because I feel this is not the way.
Yeah, I do worry for her, and I hope she ends up not getting finished in that fight.
Look, if she gets finished by a submission, right? Mackenzie Dern arm bars her. It's completely different, right? We're not talking about potentially being knocked out again. But even there, the slide is very steep, to your point.
Oh, yeah.
Beginning of the year, we're oh my God, Jessica Andrade. And now it feels like it's gone off the rails a little
100%, 100%. Baboon says GC and Eric are both looking handsome.
Thank you.
If I do say so myself, not really my style, but I can pretty much pull off anything. So I do appreciate that. Brandon asks, again, do you guys watch One Championship Friday YouTube cards? They're action-packed. Yeah, that's actually a great way to start my morning. Have a little coffee, get on YouTube. Can't see the amount of viewers. I've always wondered that. But yes, they are very action-packed.
Yeah, I'm watching as well.
Nafalti HDZ asks if I listen to Larry June. Yes, on occasion I do enjoy him. The Great Escape is a new album. Enjoyed that one. If you really want to enjoy him, Action Bronson, he did an F That's Delicious.
Shout out to Action.
And Cheeto on that episode as well. It was actually fantastic. So yeah, shout out to Larry June. Shout out to Action. Shout out to Cheeto. Moderator Lewis.
Hey.
Moderator Lewis asks,
Big time.
am I still needed on Wednesdays? Of course you are. Of course you are, Lewis. I mean, no one can do this job. I'm now getting a better respect for you, seeing how difficult it is to go through all these questions. I mean, it's tough stuff out here in these question streets. So yes, you are very much needed, Lewis. Don't stop doing what you're doing.
We love you, Lewis.
Let's see. TV shows or movies? Which do you prefer? I love going to the movies. But God, I love getting into a TV series where I'm into it, and I can't wait to watch the next episode.
I'm big time movies. Can't commit to seasons of TV shows.
Wow.
Too much commitment. Too long. Lots of them fall off. Now you're stuck watching 8 seasons of some show that you didn't want to watch after season 4. Give me 3 hours of a movie. Hit me with that Barbenheimer, and then I'm out.
Hit me with that Barbenheimer. Shout out to Alamo Draft House. That's my spot. I'm a member there. That's how much I love going to the movies. Just saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Frank last week. How good, dude? How good was that soundtrack, Frankie?
Best score ever.
Oh, it was great, man. And
comic book guy.
Everyone knows I'm a sucker for marketing. They had a special pizza. One pepperoni and pickles. Another one was charred broccoli and cowabunga sauce. We got the ooze. Which was a green apple lemonade. It was great. And then I got turtle donut holes. I mean, shout out to Alamo Draft House. Delicious meal, fantastic movie, even better soundtrack. It was great. It was great, man. I love going to the movies. Absolutely love it.
Same.
Let's see. What else? This is popping off today with positivity. Trend Daddy, shout out, brother. It is a positive experience in here. I mean, I'm feeling great. I got a cup of the black stuff with my name on it after this a little vitamin G coming my way. So yeah, spirits are good right now. Spirits are good. I mean, and look at this set. Look at us.
Oh yeah.
Let's take just a couple more here before we get out of here. Someone did say about the one fight nights, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Looks like 123 billion views for the UFC.
They do have billions of audience.
Oh, trillions. They're now saying.
Oh, trillions. My bad.
They're now saying trillions.
Shout out.
All right, let's see. GC, if Nottingham Forest qualifies for Champions League next year, that's a tough task. Would you go see them at the new camp as if they got put in the same group as Barca? Yeah, if I have the money at the time, if we get this Friday thing going, I'm sure I'll have the money at that point. And yeah, I'd be down to do that. Going not just to the UK, but going to a Premier League game is definitely top of the table. Like that, a little Premier League reference in terms of things that I want to go do.
How about Messi in US too, by the way? Like,
oh yeah, he's doing big things. Absolutely big things.
Been.
I mean, and what's crazy is like he's done it all. Like I know people say that a lot about like he's done it all in XYZ sport. He has literally he's got his Ballon d'Ors, he's got his Champions Leagues, he's got his La Liga championships, he's got his World Cup. Like
he's also made infinite money.
Like he's done everything that he's needed to do, and now he's just out here killing it in these MLS streets. Can't wait. League Cup champs. Now I'm ready to see him in the MLS regular season.
I know Ariel will go with you.
Ouch, not there. 69 says Lazy Franklin. Let's play some damn darts, and I say yes. Let's do it. I pushed for it, guys, but
who's Franklin?
Big Frank says no. Big Frankie says no. I thought with Ariel gone, we were a more free-moving show. Now we're back to the old ways.
Yeah, I thought we were in charge too, but it sounds like Frank is.
Yeah. Total line.
All right, let's see. Hate going to the movies. Love watching them at home. From Fun Things? That's your name? Your name is Fun Things and you hate going to the movie? That's an oxymoron because going to the movies is...
Clearly, they've never been to Alamo.
Oh, Alamo, you got to go.
Are you guys sponsored by Alamo?
No, but if Alamo wants to sponsor,
our Friday show, our new Friday show.
Did I put on enough of a performance with those ad reads earlier to book us an Alamo sponsorship? Because
the cat was a little weird.
Yeah. Did you blow us an Alamo sponsorship with the...
What was the cat?
Frank?
Explain it. I want to know.
God. Meow. Did you
do that voice?
Did you record yourself doing a cat noise?
Look, I don't have to answer that.
And you keep playing the same one?
You're coming at me. I don't like it.
This is very odd.
I'm almost positive. How
about one more question
to the listeners? Like this is actually off rip. Like this is not.
This is real.
Trust me. If this was planned, I would have shut it down pretty quickly. I mean, they could record a cat noise and then keep playing it over and over. Let's see.
We gave him too much.
Can Wonder Boy win a championship? Tough to say at this age. I don't think that's going to happen. Moderator Lewis is going to join us on Fridays. Yes, I absolutely
take that off our plate.
Neftali HDZ says I decimated his name. I'm so sorry. HDZ, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Neftali. I probably did. Did I say Nefalti? Maybe I did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. All right, let's go. One more. Have you guys seen the Wisenheimer parody? It's crazy, yo. No, but maybe I will go check that out. Tyler or Aaron?
Wisenheimer, what is the combo there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to Google
Oppenheimer and what? The Wiz? I don't know what that is. Okay.
OCO says vitamin G. That would be Guinness. Great stuff. Darren Miguel got 2 of his questions answered. What are both your women's MMA Mount Rushmores right now? Amanda Nunes, Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Wow. I read that when you said that. I was like, "What is my wife's Mount Rushmore?" I was like,
"What is your wife's Mount Rushmore of MMA?"
She ain't got none. Who thinks of like in terms like that? I guess I'm tired. Haven't slept a lot. Okay, what is my women's Mount Rushmore? You finish up yours. You were halfway there. What did you have? Amanda, Ronda,
Holly Holm.
You could
Joanna, Rose.
I think you have to have Cyborg.
Great call. I feel like Nunes, Cyborg, and Rousey are the 3 autos, and then you fill in the 4th.
What feels weird about the Rousey one, right, is home kind of like.
Sure. But she did so much for the sport.
I agree. To me, it's those three are locks. And then you kind of look like, is it Rose? Is it Joanna? Is it Holly Holm? There's really some good names you could put on there. Is there like early Japanese pioneers that might belong on there? There's some really like interesting debates there. I think the three you have to have is Rousey, like Gina Carano, right? Like, do you put a Gina Carano? There's some early pioneer names that you kind of think about, but you have to have Rousey, Cyborg, and Nunes, in my opinion. That's where you're at.
Pick and play with your fourth one.
And then the fourth one is kind of grab bag.
Brian M. asks, what merch did you get, GC, from Suga? Heat of the moment. I mean, we're talking like an hour after the win. Got the white championship tee with like the Suga logo on it. It's great stuff to have your own championship collection.
Yeah,
ready
Jed
to go.
Mashu saying Megumi Fuji, like there's like this. Sorry, I wasn't saying that for acknowledgement.
No.
But
no big deal. I mean, we were just getting into the merch. I was gonna
That's,
break down my wardrobe. But yeah, sure. Back to the Mount Rushmore, of course.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking. There's some pioneers.
Jet's free to hop in the chat as well. This direct line to you feels a little unfair. The merch, and then I got a hoodie, the purple hoodie with the mushroom that says Suga on it. Purple's my favorite color. Felt like, apropos, felt fitting. All right, let's see.
Last one.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. This is just a statement. GC, the blank card is to ensure packs weigh the same. Rip-off artists will weigh packs and resell them to unsuspecting buyers. The heavier the pack, the better the rarity. Wow.
So there is a
That's
function.
what they want you to think.
Brilliant.
That is.
Wow.
JP34 says Frank is a tyrant. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Any of you guys disc golf? Do they have that in NYC? No, I have disc golf before. It's a nice way to get outside. But no, not a big disc golfer anymore.
Same.
Alamo rental cars? No. Alamo Draft House. Someone also chimes in. The glass breaking was also not good. I tend to agree. Someone also chimes in. Is that a homeless cat, Frank?
I feel like that missed the mark a little bit. But shout out to the homeless cats.
Bradley Lasudo says, how good was Bruce Buffer this weekend? He was fantastic. Not my favorite jacket, but yeah, I did enjoy Bruce. The close face off was great. Trin Daddy says purple is also his favorite color. We roll around like two kings, GC. Alex L says GC is loving this. He has said last one multiple times. We keep rolling. He's not wrong. This is fun. I mean, this is great stuff. Tremendous theater, dare I say.
Absolutely.
Dare I say. But that will do it. Elijah One Dream says GC is for the people. You thought I was kidding. Yes, I am here for the people. You'll catch me up in the rafters. You'll catch me up in the nosebleeds. And you will catch us September 6th. That is when we will return. No show Wednesday, no shows next week, and then it's Labor Day when we come back post UFC Paris. So Wednesday, September 6th is the next time you will see us. A nice little vacation. Plans? Logan, get the baby?
Got a baby to take care of. That's probably going to take up the majority of the time. And maybe we plan for our Friday show. We start laying the groundwork on
Yes. If sales, if revenue, go ahead and hit up Alamo Draft House, get that sponsored so we can get that paycheck sorted. And I can go to Nottingham Forest, Barcelona.
Beautiful.
At Camp Now next year. That sounds like we just made a plan here moving forward. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. I mean, thank you. It felt like the reception that I saw on social was great. I mean, I have had an absolute blast. In all honesty, before we get out of here, shout out to Helwani for letting us do this. This was a ton of fun, a great experience. I really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was a good time, man.
This is a true rarity. Happy to do it. We had a lot of fun.
Shout out to GN. I mean,
yeah.
Jian Galong with these unbelievable pieces. Brought him in just for the show, just so we would look a little bit cooler. Brought us, like, first he takes him to Suga, the bantamweight champ, then he brings him to us. I mean, does it get any cooler than that?
The Kings. Shout out to, obviously, Joe, Frank, Alex, Andy.
Of course.
Watching from home.
Jose
in the building. Yeah. What a show.
Like we said, before we get off, whenever you want it, put the belt on the line, Helwani. Darts in studio, 501. None of this 3-darter stuff. I'm ready to roll whenever you are. I'll take this belt off your hands. Become the rightful king. I mean, he says he's the darts champ, but he's always ducking me every time I throw it out to him. But that is the show, the UFC 292 recap. What a blast we had. We'll see you September 6th. Frank, you can hit Ariel's music. We won't take that claim to him.
How are we feeling? It's over. It's done.
Oh man, do I feel some relief? It feels like we've been nonstop since UFC 291.
Guys, we're still live.
That's all right, man. We'll keep riffing because we did the 291 card, then we did Dallas, then we had Vegas 78, and then we had 292 this weekend. Been a lot.
It's been a whirlwind, and sometime in between there, I had a kid.
You had a kid. Frank's been having some dental issues.
Oh.
Helwani's on vacation.
Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, thanks for just telling everybody that.
Oh no! Now everyone knows you had dental issues.
Cue the cat.
I mean, is it the end of the world? Yeah. Can we get the cat cued? Ready to throw on a watch, maybe some jewelry, some a T-shirt, like
I can't wait to get this
a nice heavy T-shirt. The fact that this guy wears this every day, this guy wears this for 4 hours, interviewing high-level fighters, not going to the bathroom, and he's worried about our germs. He's worried about what we're putting out into the studio. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't really know the timing of this song. Do you?
Yeah, we're coming
up.
And
We're coming up.
Yeah, we got.
Remember September 6th, everybody. That's the next time you'll see us here. Had an absolute blast today. Man, do we look cool. Old Navy, shout out if anyone wants the official Helwani fit. It's on clearance right now, $19.99. Really doesn't cost you much.
Facebook Marketplace.
Wore it to the office today. Didn't get a single compliment.
I wore it to the office, and mine's a little heavyweight. Bad move.
Yeah,
really bad move.
The sleeves rolled up.
Black shirt.
But that's it. Back September 6th, UFC Paris, UFC Singapore. Then we'll get to preview UFC 293, Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland. But that's that. See you later. Peace. We're out of here, baby.